All right. Welcome to ABL Live. My name is Anthony Brian Logan. Thank you for joining me tonight. We got quite a few issues on deck for tonight. The biggest one, of course, is that the Mueller report is a wrap. It is done. It is over with. After 2 years, at least, bare minimum, $25 million, up to about $40 million of taxpayer money spent, endless resources, getting guys on tax evasion, perjury, no collusion. The Joint Senate Committee came out a few weeks ago and said that there's no smoking gun. There's nothing that links Trump to Russia. There will be no new indictments in the situation. So what are we really going to find out in the actual report? We're going to see here pretty soon. I can't wait personally for it to come out. I want them to come out and show it like a drive-in movie theater. Play the whole thing on camera. Democrats boycotting AIPAC. It's funny how the Democrats want to paint the right and conservatives and Trump supporters, people that hate Israel, people that hate Jews. They would say, if we skipped AIPAC in this situation, that we are anti-Semites, so why not them? It seems like it's the more mainstream thing on the left to be anti-Israel. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. But don't try to tell us on the right that we are what you are actually in reality. New Zealand banning all guns, basically. They call it military style semi-automatic. That's basically any semi-automatic gun that has a magazine with more than 5 rounds. Really crazy. We'll get to all that and a little bit more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining. I really appreciate you. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're right here with me. The report is done. It's been years. Now, I realized right when the report was first started that this would be a pretty quick thing as far as, not quick as far as how long it took, but as far as when it's done, it'll be over. It won't be anything else. They're not going to find any kind of smoking gun. They won't find any connection to Trump and Vladimir Putin. It's over. The media is going to try to go to the next thing now. They're going to try to say, oh, well, Trump could have been involved with some kind of obstruction of justice or what else? Abuse of power, silly stuff. They're going to try to say that Trump fired Jeff Sessions so he could put in his own guy to come in and end the report and the investigation. So the report had to so now the report must be released from Bob Mueller. But the truth is, there's no more they could have done. They have already locked up or indicted a bunch of people. They interviewed a bunch of more people. Then they spent millions of dollars, and they've not found anything. Through all this stuff that they have done, they found nobody to actually snitch on Trump. They found nobody to roll on Trump. It's been years. How long do you keep the charade up? I mean, do they want Bob Mueller to just keep spending money just for no reason, just to try and get some other poor sap on some ticky-tack violation to ruin somebody else's life like they did with Paul Manafort and they're trying to do now with Roger Stone and others? What's the purpose of doing that? It makes no sense. So I'm glad personally that this has come to an end. I wonder what they're going to do next. I heard that there may be some key points released from the actual report as early as tonight. So if we get anything tonight, I'll put it right up on the screen and read it with you guys. But I think the full report will get released soon. Just redacted for personal information. You know, some people say don't redact anything, put it out in its full text. I'm not really sure about that because I don't need to see somebody's personal, home address or their phone number. There's no need for that. But as long as I know who is who, then that's all good. I don't need to know any kind of state secrets. Keep all that stuff redacted. But as far as who was in it, who was investigated, and the most important thing I want to know, which may or may not be in the report, would be how much did it cost? 25 million, Earl Soldier? Could be as much as 40 million. I think my estimate of 25 million might have been low. The article I read was just for the first, 16 months, but this has been going on for almost 2 years. And what kind of other expenses are not in there? You're talking about the cost of incarceration, the court process. I mean, all that good stuff, man. You're talking about all type of money. Guaido was arrested. Was that the interim president or the recognized president of Brazil? What so did Maduro, his team arrested him? $100 million it could be. It very well could be $100 million. Who knows? Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a great day. They're saying that they're going to release some stuff as early as maybe this evening. But as soon as anybody in Congress, and like as soon as Congress gets it, it's going to be leaked. I can guarantee you that. Somebody's going to leak it. But the problem is they probably won't read it first. So they'll leak it in an effort to try and make Trump look bad. But when people actually read it, Venezuela, pardon me. You're right, Venezuela. Yeah, they got the new president in Brazil. That's Bolsonaro. But Guaido, that's the guy that came in or is recognized after Maduro. Maduro's still there with his military. And there might be a problem because he's like, look, I'm still the president. Guaido, you're not the president. So what's up? What you want to do? That might be an issue. And why did he get arrested? I mean, for what, though? Just for some crazy, obscure reason? See, in socialist places, the flags are wooden. Yes, Slick Rock. There's a link for that in the box if you want to check them out. My man BHE Designs does these, custom made. I got some more flags coming in, matter of fact. They should be coming in pretty soon. And I'll keep this one on my right, your left, for my house, just somewhere else. And this one right here, this would be a giveaway. So look out for that. This is the blue, the thin blue line. You see that right there? For police officer support, I'll give that one away. And they're pretty big. They're pretty sizable. Nice quality and build. With the new ones are going to be great. Theresa May coup. I've not heard about Theresa May. What are they trying to get her out of office? Is that going to be a real thing or something that's just kind of floated about? Because you're talking about a coup with Theresa May. Like, are they trying to get her out? Like, what's going on with that? If you're talking about trying to get Theresa May out, that's that's like trying to get President Trump out of there by a coup. That's pretty deep. You're talking about United Kingdom. Let me see. Oh, Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow was shedding crocodile tears. I've been seeing that clip floating around, and all she really did was just kind of give off, this kind of fake energy about how sad she was that the investigation was coming to an end. She's trying to cry because she's like, oh, it's unjust. It shouldn't be happening. Still keep the whole thing going. Or it could have been some legitimate crime because she knows now that the whole Russia kerfuffle is coming to an end. The ratings are going to go way down, way down. She has a big ratings boost in the show because of the whole Russia coverage, but you can't do that every night now. I mean, you can do it every night, but since the whole thing has come to an end, is closing, and there's no new news to report on. What you going to say now every day? I mean, like, what are you really going to say now? Like, at this point, all you can really say is, at this point, all you can really say is that it's over every day and cry about that. But there's actually no new news, no new indictments. It ain't going to be no Roger Stone. It ain't going to be nobody else getting arrested, getting indicted or anything. That's why now they're trying to switch to the whole obstruction of justice and abuse of power thing. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, Rachel Maddow, I didn't see one tear come out of her eyes. If I'm wrong, let me know in the box. But all I saw was just like a scrunchy face with no moisture, no wetness, no tear, not an Indian tear, not the anime, big crazy tears. I saw nothing. So it seemed like an act to me, just trying to pretend like she's hurt, or she could have been really hurt because of the show actually going down. Shout out to you, Colorado GOP. Thank you for joining. Kamo Docket, thank you for joining. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. I didn't butcher it, boss. Oh, one more thing. What was that? Who's the oh, Robert Kraft of the NFL team, the Patriots, the owner of the team. He apologized for what he did at the massage parlor spot. He won't go to jail. They're talking about, you gonna go to jail, please. The old man ain't going to jail. Too much money. But who should go to jail as a result of this whole Russia kerfuffle? I mean, the evidence that I saw all throughout this whole time and before was more against Hillary Clinton. So if you're gonna lock anybody up, then maybe it should be Hillary Clinton. Just maybe. You know, given a lot of the U.S.'s supply of uranium to Russia, taking a lot of money from Russia. I think Ukraine as well. I mean, if Russia is just this big bad thing, then why not have Russia really be the object of why a person like, or the reason why a person like Hillary Clinton would get locked up? If Trump did what Hillary Clinton did, then I think they'd be trying to say lock him up based on those things. But since it's Hillary Clinton, oh, it's not really a big deal. It's whatever. Yeah, see, the money helps you hip hop independent, but it also helps that you're on one particular side of the aisle. See, the thing about Bob Kraft is that he helped Meek Mill get out of jail. When Meek got out of jail, he was hanging with Bob Kraft all the time, going places with him. So that kind of SJW shield might also keep him away from the penitentiary. And then on top of that, you got the money. If he was a right winger and, you know, no kind of affiliation to the left, then he might be up for incarceration. Possibly. Just my opinion. Just my viewpoint on the whole thing. Yeah, Hillary Clinton is definitely somebody you don't want to deal with in that kind of way, because you might disappear. You might turn up missing for sure. Oh, and the FISA warrants. That's right, Luis. The FISA warrants. Man, this whole thing has just been a circus from the very beginning. James Comey, Andrew McCabe, and then how they wiretapped Paul Manafort and Trump Tower. It was crazy. I mean, you're talking about some third world country, banana republic. I mean, you're talking about some crazy, just off the wall, and then kind of like out in the open too. It's like, come on, man, I can see what you're doing here, sir. You're not fooling me. I can visibly just look at you with my own two eyes here. I see what's happening. What's really, like, don't try to tell me it's something different than what it is. I know what's going on. You guys are being corrupt. You're trying to get the president out by any means. Very simple. Now, Hillary Clinton, will she get in any kind of trouble for this? Will she actually go to the penitentiary because of the Russia investigation? I doubt it, because I don't think anybody else is going to get in any trouble, because they already said that there's no new indictments. But did they find anything about Hillary Clinton? And if they didn't, then why or why not? Because here's my thing. Who did they investigate and why? Did they take a peek at Hillary Clinton? Was there any kind of work done on Hillary? Was it like, was it anything? Or no? Was it just focused on Donald Trump? Because as far as I know, the investigation was supposed to be about Russian collusion. That was the main thing. Did Russia interfere with the election? So if that's going to be the case, then why not look at the other candidates and her team, her squad? Why not? Because she did some Oppo research against Trump with the Ukrainians, maybe even the Russians. So why not look at her as far as anybody that needs to get locked up or indicted or questioned, and her team, and just Trump? It's not really good here. It just hate Trump. That's correct, Ralph. 1,000%. And the crazy part is they were sending the guys to jail. That they sent what's some man's name? Not Paul Manafort, but Papadopoulos. They sent him to jail, to prison, not jail, but prison for 14 days. A federal penitentiary for 14 days. How does it make any sense? Why would you send a person to the penitentiary for 2 weeks? I mean, when you think feds, you're thinking more than a year, not 14 days. I mean, come on, what are we doing here? What's the whole issue is you're just trying to get people to snitch on Trump. You're trying to scare them with time in the federal penitentiary, although it's only 2 weeks. We're sending you to the big boy jail, all this, that, and the third, to try and get them to snitch on Trump. But the problem is, it ain't nothing to snitch on. So what are you really going to do? What are you going to do when there's nothing to actually say? You know, you can torture somebody until they pass out and die. But if there's nothing to actually tell, then your whole session of torture is meaningless because you won't get anything. You may get some false information, and then they're going to say, okay, well, he lied, so we're going to put him in jail for that, and then see if he cracks. If he didn't crack for the things you were doing at first, why is he going to crack now? People are trying to say that the investigation into Russia may yield something else, but it hadn't yielded any more indictments, no more arrests. So what you going to find now? Some ethical violations? Oh, wow. That's so fantastic. I mean, since when did that become illegal? To have ethics? Like, you could say that I was unethical in a thing, but if I'm not illegal, if I didn't do anything illegal, then who cares? It doesn't even really matter. That's just a matter of personal opinion about how you feel. If what I did not violate law, then I'm not going to be indicted and I won't go to the penitentiary. You can have an opinion about what I did being unethical, and that's fine, but so what? That's just your opinion. Somebody could say that capitalism itself is unethical. That doesn't mean that we're going to outlaw it because it's unethical to some people in their mind and their humble opinion. So all you're going to find in the investigation, in my humble opinion, are just people's fifis being displayed as it relates to reacting to things that are in it. We're going to see tonight probably like a little summary of what's going on in the actual report. And then from there, you'll see people's reactions. All in the mainstream media, they're going to be going with it for a while. And they're going to keep going with it until they can't anymore. So, I mean, I'm excited about the whole thing personally. I want to see how the media responds because this has been their whole thing for the past 2 years. It's been Russia, Russia, Russia. But we'll see where they go next. And thank you all for joining. We got how many live? We got 324 live in the building. Good money. And shout out to the super chatters right quick. We got Ned Start. Thank you for your donation. Devin Strayham says, shout out to Flint. MAGA 2020. Oh, there you go, man. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Chuck and my ad for your donation. Definitely appreciate you, boss. And thank you to Truth Seeker for your donation. Definitely appreciate you as well, boss. 100%. Thank you, Ralph. I like to be on TV sometimes. You know, I've been on RT, but I like to be on more television shows. Maybe even do this right here on TV. That'd be good. Shout out to Kingside. Kevin T, what's going on? Everything's good over here. Will Redding. Kerplunk. What's going on, Kerplunk? I see you, boss. Okay. What was that? Was that Kimberly Peru? Thank you for joining. Arizona in the house. Wisconsin girl. It said, something happened to your pet. Yeah, these Democrats are crazy. They might, kidnap your dog, all kind of crazy stuff. Just weird. And, I see more weirdness as time progresses. I see more and more of it. I did see Rachel Maddow's face. I did 100% see that, and that was priceless. That was most certainly priceless. Yeah, but, that could have been fake crying. That could have been anything. If she was really crying, which I doubt, she was crying because she knows the ratings over on her show are going to go way down because it ain't no more Russia kerfuffle. That's over with. Now you got to try to make up stuff rather than the actual investigation going on. You got to talk about, Trump avoided the investigation. Trump, put in his own guide to end the investigation. Now you got to talk about conspiracy theories. And then they'll say that we on the right are the conspiracy theorists. I can't tell. It looks like them who are the conspiracy nuts. Don't talk about me because I feel like you guys are just being anti-conservative, which is obvious. Talk about yourselves when you want to say, oh, this is the reason why the investigation ended because it's done. It's over with. It ain't no more to talk about. So what are you really going to say at this particular point in the game? Really? Ned Stark asked me a great question. He says, what Democrat you think will go against Trump? I think it'll be Kamala Harris. That's going to be their best bet. They want Beto, but see the problem here is just one little problem, one little teeny tiny teensy wincy problem. White male. If you are a white male in the Democratic Party, you're like a second class citizen. You're like you're not even a human being. You're just like window dressing. They don't want white men to be in there. They just don't want it. So, and then on top of that, they feel like they have to have somebody that is of color after Barack Obama because they saw that Hillary Clinton didn't win. They thought that race and gender were interchangeable as far as what people voted on, because they realized people voted for Obama based on his race twice. Not everybody, hashtag not all, but that's what they're thinking. Obama got in there because he's black, and people that were liberal wanted to be more progressive and more, they wanted to be more understanding and more tolerant, so they voted him in because he's black. But they thought they could do the same thing with Hillary Clinton, who would be the first woman to be president. They thought they would get sympathy votes because she's a woman, and that'll work out. Maybe it did work out in certain places, but the problem is that it worked out only in certain places and not a wide swath of the entire country, which is why she won the popular vote and lost the electoral college. So they're going to try to say, let's put in a black female. That's perfect. We were trying to get a woman. That didn't work. We had a black man. That worked. So since we say that men are trash and white men are trash, we can't go with a male. Sorry, Cory Booker. That ain't going to work for you. So let's put in this black female. You kill two birds with one stone. You got a woman. She'd be the first female president. And if that were to happen, they can say, well, we put in the first female president. A Democrat said it is. And then she's of color, whatever that really means, non-white. Not really sure if she's black, but that's a different story, so I digress. But they're looking at that. Woman of color, that's affirmative action all day long. Thank you, Miriam, for the donation. Most certainly appreciate you. I saw that Hip Hop Independent. Cory Booker has a girlfriend. Now, to anybody in the chat, do you believe that Cory Booker actually has a girlfriend? I mean, they didn't come out and say they're together, but do you believe that? I'm not judging. I'm just saying it just doesn't really seem, because why now all of a sudden when you're running for president do you have a girlfriend? And the girl was most recently linked to another person named Eric Andre. Not that long ago, she was linked to him. So, I mean, do you believe that? It would seem like if you're going to be running for president, then you would have already had that in place if that's what you're into. You know, and then he was already in public office for a long time. You never heard about him being with a woman. You never heard about anything like that. So why all of a sudden now does that become believable? I'm not really sure if it does. But again, I digress. Arm candy, that's right, Paul J. 1,000%. That's my opinion, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just being judgmental. I'm sorry. And shout out to Ray Hernandez, who says, keep it coming. Love the content and feedback from the comments. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. 1,000%. Now we're gonna see a lot of stuff coming out here soon. Nathan Shields says no, he's gay. Hey, I didn't say it. I'm just reading comments. That's all. So don't nobody get offended. And shout out to Kennery, who says POC is an inherently racist term, separating everyone into white and other. That is correct. And you know what? Something else. People of color is just color people backwards with an of in the middle. It's the same exact thing. So people get offended when they get called a colored person, but people of color is the exact same thing. It's just fancy with an extra little word in the middle of. It's as simple as that. Durhamite says, do I think the demon rats will get justice they deserve? I don't know if they're going to get justice they deserve. I mean, what kind of justice? I think the justice they deserve would be not being in power anymore. They deserve that. I think they earned not being in power anymore due to how they've been behaving over the past few years. Once 2020 comes along, they're going to lose that House majority instantly. And we'll keep the Senate majority. That's every 6 years. And then we're going to get the president again. So you're talking about the president, the House, the Senate. the Supreme Court, all that. Mikhail, I see you in the chat, boss, and it was good seeing you at Blexit. I'll answer your question in just a moment. What was I saying? I was talking about something. I totally forgot. My man, Mikhail, I'll answer your question right now. Now, this whole thing about ADOS, if anybody doesn't know, ADOS stands for American Descendants of Slaves. And the term is being used in a way to separate people that have a lineage of slavery away from people that came here after slavery that are black. So people that came from Africa, people that came from the Caribbean, et cetera, et cetera. I see you, Chandler. What's going on, man? Shout out to you as well. But that's their whole thing. They want to separate themselves as like some kind of separate ethnic group that has ties that go back to slavery rather than somebody that came here that did not have a legacy of slavery. That's the whole thing. But the point from what I see in doing that is for reparations, because if that's ever to come, they want to be first in line to get their money rather than giving it to people that are not affiliated with that particular ethnic group. Now, I've been on panels talking about this, and I only have questions because it's not really well thought out, in my humble opinion. If you are going to be a descendant of slave, and that's how you become ADOS, ADOS, then how much of a bloodline must you have that goes back to slavery? Because let's be honest here, most black Americans that have a history that goes back to slavery at all have some deviations in the family tree. Okay. You see me, I look like I could be West African, right? But my great grandfather was mixed, black and Irish. Okay. Tall, curly hair, the whole thing, light eyes, all that. My dad's mother was very light skinned, God rest her soul. She was very light skinned. She looked like she could be mixed, but she was not mixed. She just had two light-skinned parents. Granny looked like Angela Rye's complexion. So obviously, there's some deviations away from slavery there. At least African-American slavery, maybe Irish slavery, but definitely not black slavery. So when people say you got to have a bloodline that goes all the way back to slavery, I'm kind of confused because it's like, okay, if that's the case, then what about all these people that have white people in their family, and other races? So I'm just kind of confused. That's all. So I don't even really get into all that. To me, it don't make no sense. I don't, and then my thing is I'm not really waiting on reparations. That's not really my whole thing. I'm all about what can we do to go forward. Chandler says, hip-hop independent is right. They come up with all these fictional terms or intersectional terms to turn us away from each other. It's a soft segregation rather than overt physical segregation. Correct. Because when I'm on these panels, what it turns into is black Americans versus black immigrants. That's what it turns into at the end. That's what it devolves into. And then it's crazy because a lot of these people that talk about ADOS want to have this whole African diaspora. They want to operate as one unit, but then they create a way to separate ourselves from each other, which would go against the whole point of having unity. So I just don't understand. Now, Biden has a VP already. Who is a VP right now? I didn't know he actually announced. Well, I think he did announce, but it was kind of a slip up like, oops, I'm supposed to say that. And it was funny how Trump said he had low IQ, couldn't even keep it under wraps for a little while. But who is a VP? I think Biden. Oh, no, I think I did see that. It was a rumor that it could be Stacey Abrams. Oh, man, there's so many jokes. It's so many ways I can go, man. Like, I think it's a bad move for a white male in today's Democratic Party to have a black vice president, because what it's going to turn into is they're going to say slave and slave master. That's what they're going to say. Now, that's not me saying that, because I don't really care what color you are. You could be a purple and green Martian that lived on Pluto for 20 years. As long as you fit the actual 3 qualifications, You could be a Martian born here in the U.S. That's fine. If you were here for 14 years and then went on the space trip to Pluto for a little while and came back, that's fine. I don't care. You speak English. You're an American citizen. You're natural born. That's all that really matters. Nah, not Stephen Abrams. Stacey Abrams from Georgia. You think that Stacey might be a little big there, Trump? I mean, Chandler. Somebody called Stacey Abrams Stacey M1 Abrams tank, and I think that's very offensive. And I'm not gonna laugh at that joke. I'll just turn my camera off when I laugh so you don't see it. Yeah, so I mean, I think that Biden has nobody that's a white male has a chance. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody has a chance. They can live on Earth for a while, go to Pluto, and come back. All you got to do to be a citizen is live in the United States 14 years, and you good money. So I don't really care. I don't care about somebody's identity as long as they can get the job done. You know, that's the main thing. All right, let's get to the calls, and thank y'all for joining. And shout out to the super chatters here that say, thank you to my man, Truth Seeker for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to Ned Stark who says, do the Spanish and French plan on paying as well? Hey, Ned Stark, you right here with me, sir. As far as reparations are concerned, it's only focused on the United States paying money to people that were descendants of slaves for slavery. But what about the countries that were involved? How about going back to Africa and holding them accountable? Ghana apologized for slavery because people just don't understand for some reason that it was not like the white man came up in a trade boat full of like 10 people and kidnapped a bunch of slaves and put them on the boat. And, you know, that wasn't in the story. The reality is that the slaves are already there waiting on the English, the Portuguese, the Spanish, or whatever to come, the French, to come pick them up, to trade for certain things. That's why it was called the slave trade. Okay? So if you're going to hold the white man here in the USA responsible for slavery, why not people that came from what's current day Ghana, the former Dahomey Kingdom, which was based on slavery? It was crazy. The white man had to come and beg the king of Dahomey to please stop selling slaves. Please stop. They would go from the coastal area into the interior, raid villages, bring them back as slaves and sell them to whoever wanted them. The Arabs, the Europeans, other blacks, whoever wanted them. That's how their whole kingdom was built, on the backs of slaves. Mansa Musa, the richest man ever, got rich from selling slaves. He had a caravan of slaves that went through Timbuktu, which was a slave port, over the Sahara and then to the Ottoman Empire, getting money. It's simple. But let me get to the cause. We could talk about all that on the phone. Yeah, who do they collect from? That's my thing. Who did they? Nah, I'm not saying it was okay. I'm just saying that everybody got a hand in it. It was something that everybody did that was wrong. Like I said, the English had to come beg Dahomey, please stop selling slaves. Like, we're past that time. It's the 1800s. You got to stop this slave trade. You know, it is what it is. Lego Magego says, love your stuff, ABL. If I'm Asian and a child of 2 immigrants, am I responsible for reparations as well? See, they don't, the people that say they need to pay are not even really defined. They see it more as a U.S. government thing, which is the next thing. Why would the U.S. government pay reparations when I pay taxes and they pay taxes? So it'd be their own tax money given back to them in reparations. I don't understand. How you going to tax me and then say, okay, we're giving you the money back because it's owed to you? Well, yeah, it's owed to me. It's my money that you took just now, like today. You know, I paid a check today. You took that money and gave it back to me. It's not some money from back in the day. It's just sitting in the pot like Lucky Charms, a pot of gold. It ain't that. You got to fund it with today's currency. And you're blaming people that damn thing. You're putting the responsibility on people that had nothing to do with it. It's so simple. Exactly, Windy City. It was only like if if you were to pay reparations, it should have happened back then, and it should have been from those that own slaves, not from people today. And one more thing before I get to the cause, most white people here in today's America do not have roots that go back to slavery time. Most white folks came after slavery. Up until like the 1970s or so, 90% of immigrants came from Europe. That's why you got a lot of Irish, a lot of Italian, et cetera, a lot of Polish, and they got their same names, and they can trace themselves back to the old country because they were not here during slavery. They came after slavery. So why are you going to hold them accountable for slavery? They weren't even here. So I don't understand. And many of them came from countries that didn't even have slaves. They came from places, Poland. Did Poland have any Black American slaves? How about Italy? I mean, I don't understand. Did Sicily send anybody from the Mediterranean Sea that came from Africa to the New World as a slave? I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong in asking that question, but I don't think so. A lot of Germans, that's correct. Yep. Ben Roethlisberger, was he here during slavery? I'm not really sure. It's really just a kind of a pipe dream. I think we need to focus on real things that we can do to help ourselves go forward as Americans rather than trying to say, we got to have this new thing. All right, there go the calls right there. But before I even get into it, I think we need to focus on the way to help ourselves go forward as Americans rather than keep talking about the past. Because the past is the past. It happened and it was bad, but we've been able to evolve. We've been able to go forward and progress and do better. It's so simple, but it's so complex to many. But let me get to the first call. 914, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, hi. Am I on?
Yes, you are. Who am I speaking to?
This is Miriam. I'm calling from New York. How are you?
Everything is great. How about yourself?
I'm good. I just had a quick question. Hopefully, maybe you can address this for me. I know you were talking earlier in the stream about the Mueller investigation that's over. I was wondering what your opinion is on the Southern District of New York's investigation. What do you think they're digging into, and what do you think will come out of it?
They're trying to find any and everything they can. They're trying to find any kind of evidence of corruption. Like, they're digging around and see what they can find. I think they don't have an actual game plan as to what they're looking for. They're just looking. It's just like if somebody just goes into an empty room, or pardon me, how about this? It's like if somebody had an abandoned house and you have a person going in there just looking like a robber. They don't know what they're not really trying to find anything in particular. Maybe some copper wire or something like that. But aside from that, they're trying to find anything they can that's of value. It'd be the same thing here. They're trying to find anything of value, anything they can use against Trump. They're going to come out with it. But aside from that, it's not really a true game plan as to what they're trying to find specifically.
Right. I hear what you're saying. Do you think because of Trump's maybe, he holds so much real estate in New York, and he's a very close colleague and friend to other developers like Larry Silverstein and others. Do you think they're just going to turn up the city upside down looking for something? Do you think there potentially could be something?
Well, I think if there was anything to be found, it would have already been found, because Trump has been a public figure for a very long time. He has a lot of connections. A lot of people know him. So I think that they won't find anything because there's been so many chances for a person to out him for different reasons before he came into politics. Once you become a big name like that, you get a lot of people that don't like what you're doing, a lot of detractors. So there have been hit pieces about Trump before. There's been exposés about Trump before. So during that particular point in time, there would have been something found, but it hasn't been yet. So I doubt that it will. And the FBI, not the FBI, FBI, yeah, with Mueller, they didn't spend millions of dollars and they have a nothing burger as a result. So if they spent all that money and we're not able to find anything, I think it would be the same case with New York.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Thank you so much for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Good night.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate her. Yeah, they're not gonna find anything. I mean, they're trying to turn up the whole city, turn it upside down, trying to find something. But when you have nothing, what are you really gonna? It's just like what they did with the FBI. They're trying to lock people up to get them to snitch on Trump, but nobody snitched because ain't nothing to snitch on. I'm sure that at least one of those guys would have said, "Oh, Trump did this, Trump did that" to save themselves from the penitentiary. You're talking about years, but they were not able to find it. So what are they going to do? 470, you on the line. I'm speaking to.
Years, but they were not able.
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
I think I called the wrong number.
All righty. All right, folks. Don't get no cold feet now. It's all good. I ain't gonna hurt you. All right, let's go to the next number. Kerplunk, what's going on with you, boss?
Are you mean to tell me I'm first today?
Well, you were actually second, but that's close enough.
All right. I got a little bit to interrupt. I don't know if you remember how I do it here. I got this little thing here that I write on, So I got notes. I got notes today. Look, before I start, how are you today?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain about yourself.
I'm doing okay, and I actually care when I say that. I don't just say that just to fill the space. Last thing we need is dead space on the airwaves here. Hey, look, did anybody ever notice it? Maybe you could pull up a picture of Guy Smiley. Do you know who he is? Remember him?
No, I don't. Who is that?
Oh, Guy Smiley. I'll give you a second to pull that picture up there. Pull up a picture of Guy Smiley. He's from Sesame Street.
Okay.
He was the news reporter. You're about to laugh.
All right. Okay, hold on. All right. So, okay, Guy Smiley.
Yeah,
Okay, now are you gonna say that he resembles somebody? Is that what's going on here?
Well, I don't know. You maybe want to share with your other viewers here. I got
it on the screen.
Okay, all right. Am I the only one that picks this stuff up?
So, I mean, who does he look like? Is that like is that Jim Acosta? Who is that?
That looked like, I think it looked like Rachel Maddow.
Oh yeah, accurate.
Oh, you should see it play out because he talks the same way she does. You just fill in the blanks with Russia if you ever catch an old video of her.
Oh man,
yeah, that's an old character. I'm all right. All right, that's that. I wanted to start out with a little bit of fun. All right, now I'm going to unwrap something. I watched your video this afternoon about the Mueller report, and it says there's going to be no indictments. Is that kind of accurate?
That's accurate. That's been reported by all the major news outlets. It's that's pretty much what it's going to be. I mean, and it makes sense because you had a lot of indictments when the whole thing was going on. So why would they wait until now after it's finished to indict more people? It doesn't make any sense. They would have done the indictments during the report like everybody else.
That's kind of for me that's kind of bad news because if there's no indictments, that means Hillary's not going to jail.
Yeah, but I expected that to happen because it was a biased report. It was a biased thing from the very beginning. It was witch hunt against Trump. It wasn't even about Hillary. And they could have found a dead body under her actual house in New York, and it would have covered it up because it wasn't even about her. It was about Trump.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I just know when the police investigate something, they investigate all of it. They not just part of it. So I'm sure that Pfizer report and everything was inside that investigation. I'm sure all that stuff was in there. Mm-hmm. And when he said no indictments, I was like, oh wow, really? Okay. All right, that means no indictments. That doesn't mean some indictments, or maybe something that happened. Maybe something that happened in the future. Someone will open up an investigation that's independent. That would be kind of, if it could go either way at this point. Nobody's even seen what's inside of it yet, except that the bar guy.
Yeah, he says he's going to put some key points out tonight, like tonight. But we'll see. I'm not sure if that'll be public or if it'll be to Congress. But if it'll be to Congress, it'll be public soon enough because they're going to leak it for 100% certain.
Well, I was on social media, on other platforms and things like that, and everybody's in an uproar and ha 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 ha. But that's only half the news. And I just, if anything I know about Trump is not to have a knee-jerk reaction right away about anything that involves him, whether it's from the left or the right, not to have a knee-jerk, or from him himself especially, because you got to wait a few days. Now he's bringing up this John McCain thing, and I'm hearing other kinds of rumors, and you know how this stuff gets started, but there's something else that he's not saying that he probably can't say. He's probably covered by, he's got a security clearance. Let's put it that way. He's the president. If he loses his security clearance, he loses his job. So
he's good. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he can only say certain things. Like, all I can say is.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got to keep it under wraps for a little bit, or for the most part, he has to keep everything he knows under wraps. So he can't really say what he wants to say. He can only tweet half the information. So we got to take that with a grain of salt too. And as far as slaves go, the whole word slaves, I got into it on conservative Mexican, right? He's been on your show before, I do believe.
Yeah, my man. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He had a thing. There was a whole debate on one of his discussion boards about slavery.
Uh-huh.
There's he's like a little troll. I had to school him on slavery. He said, no white people were ever slaves. I said, man, the word Slav comes from
the word slave. Yeah. I mean, everybody in the world at one point was a slave. All people, everybody. There's not a race of people that weren't slaves at one point in history.
And it's not like it's done, it's done and over with. This still continues on to this day.
Today, currently, correct.
Castrating people as of 1962. They're still castrating the black slaves. I mean, everything, not just the testicles, everything gone.
Yeah.
Up until 1962.
Yeah. I mean, you still got slavery going on, and then now you got the whole thing about human trafficking. That's a whole different ball of wax. I mean, I'm seeing almost every couple months, Chinese massage parlor get shut down. And you got like 4 or 5 middle-aged Chinese women don't speak no English, papers all messed up. They're being trafficked. They have to work in these places. I mean, what do you call that? It seemed like slavery to me, but yeah, what do I know?
Right. Taxation is theft. Every time I go to work, I'm involved in a form of slavery of some kind or another. Every day I get up and go to work. So, and not to mention, there's financial slavery too. The bank's got us over a barrel. If you've financed your home or your car, you owe them for the next 5 to 30 years.
That's correct.
Well, I mean, that's affordable indentured servitude. You got to pay that interest off that you owe them now. So now you're working for them. So it's and they didn't do anything. All they did was jumble a couple of numbers around, and now you owe them. So
that's how it goes.
That's how it goes. It happens in America to this day. It's different forms of it. There's, I don't know, probably 5-6 different forms of slavery you can involve yourself in. You like my hat?
Oh yeah, that's nice. Got the bucket hat.
The little straps that go under your chin here, keep it down from when you're hitting the waves on the ocean.
No doubt.
This is my fishing hat. Someone was wearing a silly hat the other day. I figured I'd wear my silly hat. All right. You have a good one. I'm going to let the door hit me where the good Lord split me.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Love, everybody. Make sure you share and obviously comment and hit that thumbs up.
All righty. Take care.
Much love, brother.
All right. Thank you to Kurt Plunk for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to the super chats here. Thank you to Nathan Shield, who says, did I hear about the gun grab Tuesday, or they want to pass Tuesday? Now, was that in New Zealand or was that here in the U.S.? I heard about the one in New Zealand where they did actually ban military style semi-automatic. All that means, I did a little bit more research on this. All that it means is a rifle with semi-automatic fire that has the capacity to have more than 5 rounds in the mag. 5 rounds. I mean, you're talking about basically all rifles have a magazine that you don't just like manually load. That's crazy. It doesn't make any logical sense. And thank you to We Got Love, who says, Huber, who is that? I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate it. We get to the next call. 281, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? Okay, I guess 281 hung up. Or I might not have been quick enough. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, my name's Adam.
All righty, boss. What's going on?
Hey, not much. You?
Everything's great. Can't complain.
Yes, I was calling into the show.
All right. What's on your mind?
Yes, I wanted to know if you, which states do you think Trump will pick up from in the next election compared to what he had last time?
That's a good question. I think that he'll get all the states he had last time, but as far as any new states, that's hard to tell. Maybe New Mexico. I'm not sure if he had that last time. Aside from that, I'm not really sure. It really just depends on who he is up against. Maybe a West Coast state, possibly. I don't know. Oregon or something. I doubt it.
You think so?
I mean, that's kind of a reach. It's kind of a stretch, but it could happen.
Do you think he'll lose any states he won last time?
No, absolutely not. The only one that could be in jeopardy would be Florida, but he'll take Florida for sure, especially if they don't run the right person against him. If they put Joe Biden in there, that'll definitely be a wrap for Florida. But if they put Kamala Harris in there, it might be a little different because of the black vote. So that might actually swing Florida in her favor. But she's not really a strong candidate in the black community as it stands right now because people don't like her being the top cop. You know, a lot of black folks don't like the police, and they don't like some of the policies she had when she was in California, locking up parents if their child was truant. Although she says nobody got locked up as a result, people don't like that she had that policy on the books and bragged about it. And then the whole thing with the affair with the mayor, Willie Brown, how she, got into positions of power because of that affair. People don't like that. So if Kamala Harris has a strong campaign, she may be able to sway Florida, but I doubt it. I think Trump would get all the states he had last time, but I'm not really sure about what else he would gain. That's going to be difficult to see.
Well, thank you very much for taking my call.
I thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
You take care.
All right, now.
Bye.
That's a great question that he posed. To anybody in the chat, what states would Trump potentially gain that he did not have in 2016? And also, what states would he possibly lose? Florida could be a little iffy. Pennsylvania could be a little iffy. Ohio is always iffy. But he has Ohio on a lot because of the coal thing. Definitely because of the commitment to the Midwest, to the car industry, to the coal industry. He has Ohio on a lot, for sure, in my humble opinion. Also, because Ohio has a lot of rural areas, and people don't like the way that the left is going. Nevada, did he lose Nevada last time? Trump not going to lose Lee Yates. If Trump's going to lose, who is he going to lose to, sir? Who can actually beat Trump? and the incumbent almost never loses, and the Democrats don't even have a strong candidate. Maybe if they had Barack Obama in 2008, this time in 2020, the same guy, the same kind of energy, the same everything, maybe he have a chance. But 77-year-old Bernie Sanders, Weirdo O'Rourke, Pocahontas. I mean, come on, man. You got a bunch of cadavers out there running in the Democratic Party. You got a zombie clown car full of losers against the incumbent president who has a high approval rating. Doesn't make any sense, man. Come on. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
This is Trey. Okay, I'm LF third in the chat. So Trump this week has had a couple of good wins besides the Mueller report. He signed in that Free Speech Act, and also they said he found some money for the wall. Did you hear about that?
Well, I didn't hear about any other money he found for the wall, but I have been watching the whole thing about the state of emergency declaration. He was able to go ahead and veto that because they were trying to block it, and he vetoed that, so he has it. So he can take money from that. And then he has some money from the Senate bill, which they approved for the 1.4. He could take some more from the emergency declaration and more from other places. So he'd be able to build the wall. He has the funding, if I'm not mistaken. But as far as that, the campus free speech bill, that was a really big thing my man Charlie Kirk from Turning Point USA was talking about that, because that's what they do a lot. They go on campus and they encourage young conservatives to go out there and speak and be free. But you're seeing people getting beat up and stuff on campus because of the way they feel. That ain't right. And I don't think it's right if anybody get beat up. You can have the craziest opinion, but this is America. I can't hurt you because of your opinion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I heard that in the defense fund they found some money for the wall that they could put. They could put towards the wall. Also, I agree with you on Kamala Harris. I think Kamala Harris is probably will be the candidate, just because they're in intersectionality and stuff like that. So they, she's a woman and she's black. But to me, that's all a hoax, because if you have a different opinion, they don't care about if you're black, Hispanic. They don't care about that. So to me, that's all just a farce.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. Democrats talk about how inclusive and tolerant they are, but that only counts if you have the same point of view as them. They don't really want diversity when it comes to your thought process. They only want diversity when it comes to how you look. As long as you think the same as them, behave the same as them, do everything they do, then you're good. But the moment you get outside of that a little bit, they'll throw you under the bus. They'll throw, it doesn't matter what color you are, you'll see their true colors come out when you do something they don't like. When you have a disagreement, they go totally a different way.
That's true. One thing about Robert Kraft, he got a deal that said if he admitted to what he did, that he wouldn't serve any jail time. I believe he wouldn't serve any jail time, and also they would release the footage of the encounter.
Oh, okay. So they won't release the footage?
Yes. Oh,
yeah. That could be embarrassing. You 70-something years old and you in there in the massage parlor, doing your thing. You don't want that to come out. So, that's what money does right there. If that was a regular guy, that probably wouldn't be the deal that he would get.
Yeah. And also, Trump is actually one of his good friends. Said he called him like almost every week after his wife passed away.
Yeah.
His wife recently passed away. I think maybe either a couple of years ago.
That's right.
So, but anyway, thanks for the call, man. Let me call into the show. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right, now peace. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, I didn't know it was a deal with Robert Kraft. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's money right there. That's money moving. You can just say, "Yo, my fault. I'm sorry," and let's put it behind us. Don't put the tape out there. I'm not trying to be Kim Kardashian out here. I'm an old man. Just Yeah, I think that. I don't know what else the punishment could be for that situation. I'm not a fan of that type of stuff because I was just talking about human trafficking. You got the Chinese women in there. Are they in there voluntarily? I don't know. If they were not in there voluntarily, then you talking about human trafficking. Did he know that they were not in there voluntarily? I doubt it. But either way it goes, I'm not a fan of that whole situation. That definitely should be broken up if they're not doing that on their own free will. You got them in there living and all that kind of stuff. That's not really the way to go. Thank you, except for her, Karemi. I know I butchered your name. I'm sorry, but thank you for your compliment. Says, love you from Iran. I really, really appreciate that. Shout out to Iran. And shout out to the super chatters. We got Elliot Brown, who says a lot of U.S. Democrats praising the swift law change here in New Zealand. The problem is laws should take a long time to change, so proper debate can be had. Very good point. It shouldn't be a knee-jerk reaction and then laws just change overnight. It should be everybody has an interest in it, come to the table, address their grievances. You put stuff out there and say, okay, this is why this should change. This is why it shouldn't change. And then come to a consensus, maybe even vote on it. It happens here in the U.S. when there's a certain measure in local politics that people want to talk about, you put it on the ballot. That's the way it should be. And then it's also not making any sense because New Zealand is not a dangerous place. New Zealand only has 35, 40 murders a year. And the country has right around 4.5 to 4.8 million people. That's a very, very low murder rate. the Global Peace Index said that New Zealand was the safest place. It said it was the number 2 safest place in the world, only behind Iceland. So it's a very safe place. Why would you pass this sweeping law about guns in a safe place like that because of one incident? That's not really right. And thank you to Truck My Ad for your donation. And also James Mueller, I appreciate you guys. And we got 404, 409 now live in the building. Please give me a thumbs up. It helps out tremendously. The thumbs up are free. So give me all of them that you got. But let me get to my next call. 702, you on the line, my speaker 2.
Hey, what's up, man? This is Mark.
What's going on, Mark?
Hey, nothing much. I couldn't agree with you more about the whole New Zealand thing. And I saw one headline of an article, but I couldn't link to it. But it said, is New Zealand now just a de facto Muslim country over one incident? Is it just a Muslim country now?
I mean, did you see the, I don't know if it was it was a prime minister and also some newscasters, women that had on their headscarves, just regular white women with their headscarves on.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if you like, since when did that become like what you do in New Zealand? This is not the Middle East. I don't understand.
Yeah, I heard also that they sent the police force, the PD, the Metro of Christchurch, to the mosques for conversions if they wanted to. So they all decided to take their paid vacay to the mosque. And if they wanted to convert to Islam on the spot, they had like the full backing of the hijabi prime minister gal.
I mean, you know what? If you're going to convert to a different religion, that should be like the person said earlier, like the laws changing. It should be like a process you go through. You think about it for a while, talk to your friends and family, something. You don't just say, okay, this happened, now I want to be a Muslim. That's just so virtue signaling. It don't make no sense.
Yeah. I'm just amazed at how weak the West is and just how out of touch with the public I am, just how willingly they will submit, just fall over, get all like intimidated by, the virtue signaling and the morality and the fact that they'll go along with a gun ban after you see people being hit by trucks, priests getting stabbed, churches being vandalized. What do you think's going to happen when you give up your guns? Just more of that. They say in England, in London, students are being taught how to dress knife wounds, like catch and stitch or something, like instead of doing a needlepoint or stitching some yarn, they're learning how to sew up people after being stabbed because it's so common now that they have gun control in England.
That's right. And then they said that London's murder rate is now beyond that of New York City. How can that be possible when there's a gun ban in the whole United Kingdom? It's possible because people are still going to find a way to hurt other people if they want to do that. You're not getting to the core of the problem. You're removing, or you're trying to remove, a certain tool that is used to hurt people, but you're not getting rid of those that actually hurt people. That's the problem.
Yeah, plus the stabbings in the churches and stuff. The average age of those churches in the West has to be about 66 years old. They got one foot in the grave already. Yeah. They're at the very end of their life. To stab them is like it's beyond cruel because these people don't have long left to live anyway. Brandishing the weapon might even give them a heart attack. But I'm actually for teaching students how to be nurses, how to dress knife wounds. Actually, they might actually learn something now that we live in these barbaric, savage times. We're going backwards. But maybe they ought to learn how to just be field nurses and dress the wounds as the ongoing clash of civilizations and war goes on within their own, institutions. It's pretty pathetic. And then they have the nerve to say, oh, yeah, it's just part and parcel in the big city, and, oh, we're keeping you safe with our military as they have an open border. There's no military on the border. We spend $1 trillion on the military, and where are they? And it's like you keeping us safe. How are you keeping anybody safe? I mean, every year you have more of these things. But I wanted to ask you a question, ABL, because I didn't get a chance to watch all the Hotep stuff. What do you think about MJ and Streisand?
Oh man, Barbara Streisand, that was crazy. I saw that, and you know what? The comments were crazy, but I was not surprised. And to anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, Barbara Streisand was doing an interview. I forget with who, but during the interview, they asked her about the Michael Jackson situation and the Finding Neverland documentary, where there was two men that claimed that they were sexually abused by Michael when they were boys. And she said, well, hey, Michael had sexual needs from his childhood and the way he was raised. And, hey, he had to release them and they didn't die. I mean, they're married with kids now. So, it was like it wasn't even a big deal. I just kind of brushed it off. And I'm like, wow, really? You talking about two little boys being sexually abused by a grown man? I'm talking about little boys, like, little kids being abused by a grown man sexually. I mean, it was crazy. But then again, I wasn't surprised because you're talking about a Hollywood person, the entertainment industry. This is what goes on. You see every now and again, it'll be a story like this that comes out from Hollywood. So I'm not surprised at all that she had that point of view.
Right, and I've heard the same about, Harvey Weinstein, Alan Dershowitz, James Gunn, and all the people that cover up for him. And the thing that bothers me the most about the virtue signaling is I don't know enough about the MJ situation, whether he is or whether he isn't. I wasn't around him. I don't know. I can go by what is said and what is not said. But to ban his music and tear down his statues, which I'm not for the idolatry, but to ban his music and do all this virtue signaling now, it's like you had your chance to be a hero and you dropped the ball. You didn't do anything. So what sense does it make now to be like, oh, look at what a good person I am. I'm banning this cadaver's works of art because of what a good moral person I am. First of all, no, you're not. When you had your chance, you blew it, and that's also the thing I have to think about. Reparations for slavery. If you're working 40 hours or more a week, you're a slave. It doesn't matter what color you are, unless you want to be there. Unless you're doing work that you want to do, you're basically a slave, and you're never going to retire. And remember how they used to be like, get a job, but now they're like, get another job. Now they're like, get 3 jobs. And guess what? It's never going to be enough jobs. And with UBI, it's still not going to be enough jobs. It's going to go all to bills. So it's like who are we kidding to say that people are not slaves? You know what I mean? It's just kind of dumb to me.
I mean, the whole thing is dumb. Reparations. I mean, come on. Because my whole thing is that it's going to come from my own money. I pay taxes. I write IRS a check every year or quarterly, whatever it is. I write them a check. So if I get a check back, it'd be my own money. It's just the whole concept. It doesn't make any sense to me personally. I'm just not really a fan.
Yeah. And the funniest thing to me is that the Fed Reserve is a private institution. It's not even our money. There is no public money. We don't even own the money that we use. Yeah. So who's going to be paying the reparations when you never have the dollars that you make are printed by a private institution? They're not even in your possession. They're never in your ownership. It's just you've nailed that concept before, and I thought it was very deep and profound by you. You said it's just digits on a screen. They can push a button.
Yes.
They don't even need to print a coin. They don't need to do a damn thing.
Yeah, most money doesn't even exist. 98% of money doesn't even exist. It's all digital. A very, very small amount of money is actually in actual currency that you can hold in your hand. The rest of it is just straight ones and zeros.
Yeah, it's funny you should say holding it in your hand, too, because when it comes to reparations, I heard people on the alt-right talking about how possession is 9/10 of the law and that the inner cities are already owned by all kinds of other groups. So what are we even having the debate about? You know what I mean? And then I really like the fact that you brought up that Mansa Musa was kind of a human trafficker, because they had him in a headline the other day, and he was like the richest person in history who ever lived.
And it was like he had.
What's that?
I see that all the time. Richest man ever, richest person ever was a black man. Okay, how did he get rich though? Let's talk about that. Say that part of it, and then they may mention it as kind of an aside thing, talking about he had a caravan that went all the way from West Africa to Saudi Arabia with gold and jewels and slaves and wait a minute, slaves? Did I see that part right? That's what he did. He was selling human beings and other things as well. That's how he got a bunch of money.
Well, you read a better and more honest article than I did because they left that out. They were just like gold and trade, and then they were like, "This was the funniest thing." They're like, "He brought education and invested in schools," and there was like nothing about human trafficking or slavery. But that's not my culture, and I'll leave you with this. But after Black Panther, which I skipped, but I eventually saw it and I liked it. And Nick Cannon, I believe he was correct. Where are Black Panther was a black epic. It was an epic story. It was good. It reminded me of like the Charlton Heston Moses movies, the Ten Commandments and stuff, or Ben-Hur. And I see there's no reason, like, they don't want to get into the human trafficking and slavery. It's too bad they're afraid to take on the sensitive subject of Mansa Musa, but it would make great for a dramatic role for an all-black, like, dramatic, epic movie. If people wanted to take on the role and just be honest and tell the historical story, it would be an awesome movie, like if Marvel did it or somebody really good, a movie maker did it, That would be a good one. Yeah. All right, man. Have a great show. I love the chat, by the way, and shout out to Tariq. I put my foot in my mouth one day, and I kind of regret it. But anyway, take care. Bye.
Thank you for the call. All right, now. All right, thank you to Mark for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And you guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. The number is always in the ticker at a certain point. Not right now, but it's also always in the description box below. Check it out. And if you want to get in through Skype, there's an email for that in the description box. Check that out. Add me on there. I can get you right here in the bottom right-hand corner. We could talk live that way. But let me get to my next call. Okay, let me see. 267, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, hold on for a moment. Speaker. Okay, I had to get off speaker.
All right.
All right. Am I in the show?
Yes, you are. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, okay. All right, I was just making sure. I was having trouble calling in. Okay, so I want to make a few points. I wanted to speak on reparation. I don't agree with it too much, but for reparation, and Black people receiving reparation, I do understand why they and why they want to make sure it goes to people who come from their descendants and not from foreign blacks, because of course we came here after the fact after like the civil rights movement and everything, so we don't understand the Black American struggle, I guess. But regarding that, it's I feel that yes, it does kind of separate us, and especially being foreigners. It does separate the two groups, and what I came to find is a lot of Black Americans are somewhat resentful towards us or towards any Black foreigners or foreigners in general. And when I do ask them, why are they resentful? One of the reasons that they're resentful is kind of resentful from the foreigners is because they feel like we come here sometimes and we don't, respect them. Or
all right, I gotta pause you right quick because people in the chat may not understand what's going on. So I gotta just inform the chat what's happening. Okay. Now earlier I was talking about reparations because of this whole online movement called ADOS. That's American Descendants of Slavery. You got a lot of Black folks online that are trying to come together and have that be part of their identity because they want to separate themselves away from Blacks that came here after slavery ended, like people that came from Africa, the Caribbean, South America, et cetera, et cetera. So they want to have that particular identifier. And the issue that is happening is Black Americans are now starting to have more conflict online, basically against people that came from other places, recent Black immigrants or people that have like a Jamaican grandma, African grandma or something like that, because they are not the same as them. They're not descendants of slavery. And the ultimate goal is for the ADOS community to get reparations. And that's the whole thing that we're centered around. Now, what the person on the phone is saying is that some Black folks are starting to resent those that are recent immigrants or they may have a history that does not go back to slavery. Is that kind of what's going on?
Right. Yeah. Yes. And that's what I do experience. I don't even think it's right at all. And they just create more conflicts because what was happening, especially having parents who are foreigners, they are beginning to look down at blacks like they can't do anything right for themselves, and all they do is beg and ask for handouts. It makes them look bad. And here's another conflict that goes with that. Like you were saying that, Black Americans are very mixed, right? So you have people who have this nation. This is a very mixed nation, and you have Black people who have, white descendants. You have Black people who have Native American descendants. You have Black people who are mixed with other foreigners. So even if they decide if they do pass this, it's going to be difficult because the amount of slave, and here's another thing. Not only is it going to be hard to identify who was descendant of slaves, is I'm sorry, it's going to be hard to identify people who are descendants of slaves, but also who we're taking the money from. So now you're going to have a bunch of people resenting Black people because you're punishing people who did not own slaves. You do realize that like less than 4% of people at that time actually owned slaves. And also, like I did a lot of research during I did a lot of research regarding slavery, and we have a lot of misconceptions of slavery. Other Black people own slaves. Indian people, Native Indian people own slaves.
Slavery is not specifically a Black American thing. Every racial group, every ethnic group on planet Earth, at some point in history, had slavery in their history. That's just the reality of the situation. And I think that, what's happening right now is that people just are latching on to a thing that's popular online. This is not really a real world thing because during Obama, 8 years of Obama, this was not a discussion. And it should have been because you got the first quote unquote Black president. That should have been the perfect time.
I think he's not even Black.
But that's a whole different story. But that should have been the time to do it. But see, now what's happening is a lot of politicians are kind of like jumping on the wagon. Reparations. They're trying to do that to try and make themselves be more notable on the left. They'll say anything. They'll say, yeah, reparations. And then they'll say at the same time, full-term abortion. They think that's like the same thing. I think that appeals to Black people and so-called non-white people. So it doesn't even really matter that it won't happen. They're just trying to actually put that out there. But I got to get to a few more calls. So finish your thought.
But can I make another point real quick? Okay, so it's dealing with slavery. I wasn't able to get through all my other points.
Well, I got a little bit of time, so finish your point real quick.
Okay, so if they do that, I wonder if a lot of Black people realize that 75% of those who owned slaves, they were Jewish people. And so knowing how Jewish people are is not going to even go well with them. And then also I wanted to know, I don't know if you heard of Adam Green. Adam Green, he does a lot of political commentary. He's a conservative, really great guy. I do suggest that you...
I can't really hear you, caller. Like, are you moving around?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I can't really hear you. So I'm sorry, but I got to go and get to the next call.
All right, I just wanted to say, do an interview with Adam Green, No More News.
Oh yeah. Send me an email about that. But I got to get to know. Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. I don't mean to hang up, but I got to keep it moving. And super chatters, we all caught up. I think we are. Thank you to Nathan Shield who said sorry for the first chat. It's all good, boss. And Elliot Brown says, I lived in Tennessee for a year. Everyone armed and everyone polite. You guys should remember how lucky you are to our Second Amendment, USA, 100%. And that was on a New Zealand dollar. So Elliot's probably over there in New Zealand right now. And it's very unfortunate that you guys have lost that right to have your semi-autos above, 5 rounds? That's crazy. So thank you for your donation. And Tennessee, you're right about that. A lot of great people. Everybody's armed. Everybody's nice. And the crazy part to some people that don't understand the South is that it's very diverse here. I'm walking around. I'm seeing Asian guys with open carry, you know, black and white couples everywhere, a lot of mixed kids. It's not like what people want to paint it as that don't live here. People that come from the East Coast, West Coast, in the liberal, high-city places, they don't understand what the culture is down here. It's not some kind of racist place you got to just watch your back because you're going to get hurt. It's not even like that. It's all love down here, you know. So shout out to Tennessee, shout out to the South, and shout out to New Zealand. But let me get to my next call. Nico, what's happening?
Hello, Anthony. How have you been?
Everything's been great. How about yourself?
Happy days, man. Happy days.
All righty. Good money.
All right. So yes, I just want to say really quick is that my tax returns have finally come in, but that's probably irrelevant to what I'm going to talk about.
All right. So what's on your mind, boss?
You know, there was something I really want to talk about. So, you were just talking about Tennessee being so nice, because I actually had this weird conversation with my mom last night, because I was talking to her about, because you were talking about the South, and I was talking, I told, my mom's been to Texas when she was younger, and I was saying to myself, I said, what would be a good place to vacation? Because I'm thinking of I am hoping I want to take a holiday in Texas sometime. I'm thinking, where should it be? San Antonio, Dallas, or Austin or Houston? And then she said Austin because it's very progressive. And I was thinking to myself, here we go again. I was like, why not Dallas or San Antonio? Because I heard that San Antonio has quite a big metal culture right there. He says because it's racist. I said, right. And because I was like, so I said, and she was acting pretty hysterical and emotional.
Oh, Nico, I think Nico had a call or something. Let me just hold on for a little while. Nico, you there?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine.
Yeah, and she said, yeah. I said, right. I mean, and she said it's right wing. People want to build a wall and that kind of.
All right, you there? You still here?
I said, yeah, racism exists on the left too, you know?
All right, yeah, I mean, it's not even, you know, I think there's more racism in the liberal places. I would fear racism more in the liberal part of the country than in the conservative one, because I've been to small towns, I've been to cities down here in the South, and it's not like what people think that it is that have not been here before if they're a liberal person. They think because of what they see on television it's going to be a certain way, but it's not that way in reality.
Well, I was about to say that because you said to me, oh, think about it. You're brown skin, you have long hair, and you have this black metal, and you wear this heavy metal and that kind of stuff, and people are going to judge you. I was like, well, I'm saying is that saying that right wing is racism exclusively a right wing thing. That's like saying men can't be don't experience sexual assault.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing about it is, if you're going to go to Texas, there's a lot of Hispanics down there, man. You fit in just fine. I mean, you'd be at home.
That's what I said. And then I was saying is that, I mean, besides, she says Texas is not like California. Well, I said maybe in San Francisco and Los Angeles, but there's a lot of areas there's a lot of red areas in Texas. There's a lot of areas in California that are just right in your backyard that are just as deep red as Texas and the Midwest itself.
That's right. 100%.
Said, hello, Redding, Fresno, Inland Empire. Those are deep in California.
That's right.
I mean, it's just right there in your backyard. Maybe you're just thinking California's so blue because of San Francisco and Los Angeles, but that's a whole nother story. Because I'm still going to go to Texas anyway. Okay. I'm just saying. I was saying is that racism is not exclusively a right-wing white man sort of thing. And then she was just acting all visceral, hysterical, and that kind of stuff. But that's all I want to say. I'm still going to go to Texas because I'm curious.
Absolutely.
So, but I just want to say, before I change topic, where should I go? Should I go to San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, or Austin?
I say Houston because you got the water right there. It's a big city, lot to do. Either Houston or Dallas, but I say go for Houston.
All right, I'll go for all right. Then Houston it is then. So anyway, now I'm gonna move on right there. Have you heard of Beto O'Rourke riding a skateboard on stage?
No, I didn't hear about that. He had a skateboard on stage.
Yeah, he was making his entrance to make his speech, he literally jumps on a skateboard and starts sliding to the podium.
Wow, Beto. I mean, I'm not surprised. He would do something like that.
Oh, and I have seen that thing on your Twitter where he was eating ice cream at 9:00 in the morning.
A creepy face. I mean, it was like he's like all in the camera. Like it was like weird, man. Like, not everything has to be content for Instagram. He could have kept that one to himself.
No, but I'm just saying he's one of those people that's trying so hard to be cool, and you see these people who are trying so hard, these folks who are running for presidency, they're trying so hard to be trendy. I mean, coming from me, who I don't really like to, I'm not really a trendy type of person, even though I'm 23 years old. But look at me, I do not actually enjoy the current trend of the culture, even though I'm within that demographic. Hello, I mean, people are talking in this awful, awkward slang, if you get my drift.
I got you.
I mean, I don't like that.
Right.
But yet it's kind of weird, however. I actually meet these people. I mean, it's just best for you to stay in your Iron Maiden sort of generation. If you're a Generation X, don't try so hard to be trendy. Just stay in your own Iron Maiden generation. That's what I gotta say. Because you pulled your dignity right there.
Exactly. Yeah. Just hold on to that. It'd be just fine.
Yeah, I mean. Besides, speaking of that, I saw this. I was at the gym, by the way, and then this guy was wearing this Iron Maiden shirt, and I says, "Yeah, I know Iron Maiden. I'm actually gonna go see him next month." And he says, "Wow," and I said, "It's good to know that kids like yourself are still enjoying my kind of music."
No doubt.
I mean, let the kids go back in time rather than you trying to be trendy. You kind of get what I mean.
Exactly.
But anyway, that's all I got. That's pretty much all I gotta say, and I'm gonna move on right there. I just one more thing I wanted to really talk about, because I know you have a lot of callers, by the way, about the Lori Loughlin and college scandal. By the way, if you don't mind me touching that subject.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
So I remember her saying in a few interviews, because I was curious and I watched a few interviews out of her, and she says, "I never finished college, but I want my kids to go to college just to be successful." Hello there, woman. You don't need to finish college to be successful, by the way, and you're just going to let your daughter go there just for the sake of going for these toilet paper degrees, because most of these degrees are pretty useless, by the way. And second of all, she's already has a successful YouTube channel, so what's the point of her actually hanging around in college?
Yeah, she even said that, the daughter that is, she was like, I only really want to go to school. So, I mean, she was just doing that because her mom wanted her to, but there was really no actual purpose. I mean, like, if you're not gonna go and do a thing you actually like doing, what's the point? Like, you got to go to college for a reason, for a purpose. But if you have no purpose, then it makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I went to college, I dropped out, I only had $1,000 worth of debt to pay off, and I'm still pretty happy with myself. I mean, I mean, nowadays a degree from Berkeley is pretty much a toilet paper degree now.
Exactly.
Paper. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here, boss.
Pretty much all. But that's pretty much all I gotta say right there. Oh, and one more thing. I know this is a pretty silly thing that I want to say. But have you heard of this guy named Amar Kampa Nahar?
No, who is that?
Oh, he was running against Duncan. He was running against Duncan Hunter, and he was running for San Diego. For a San Diego seat, but he lost. And I remember him saying that he's this handsome Latino Arab. And I remember him saying that he likes Metallica. I'm saying, well, I'm still not going to vote for that guy.
There you go. I mean, just because he has a certain identity, this and that, it doesn't mean anything. You got to have an actual platform that you're running on, not just how you look.
All right. But here's a simple thing. One more thing going back to Beto O'Rourke. This is the very last thing.
I got to go ahead and wrap it. So you're good. Quick point.
This is the last thing I'm going to say. So instead, you could just say things saying, remember to thank your veterans in the grocery store. It's very simple, but it's much more plausible than trying so hard to be trendy, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely, 100%.
But that's all I got to say. Take care of yourself.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, thank you to Nico for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And did you guys enjoy that Beto O'Rourke image I had on the screen right over there? I mean, you're talking about Creep Master 10,000. Good grief. I never seen anybody eat ice cream so creepily like Beto O'Rourke in my life. But shout out to the super chatters right quick before I get to the next call. Thank you to Nathan Shield for the donation. Thank you to Matthew Richardson who says 23andMe, 10% Neanderthal, my people deserve reparations. Thank you for that. Trucker My Ad says Sabaton and Powerwolf if you like metal. All right. He also says Laughlin has nothing on AIPAC. People gonna get triggered about the AIPAC stuff, man. Don't do it. Nathan Shields says AIPAC, you are AIPAC. I'm tripping. Nathan Shields says ABL, you are a smart man. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Most certainly appreciate that. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. It should be right up underneath me in a ticker sometimes, but if not, it'll be in the description box. But let me get to the next call here. 619 you're line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Thank you for answering my call.
All righty. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Emily, and I'm here with Jonas.
What's up, ABL?
What's going on?
Hello. Thank you for answering my call.
Turn speakers on in the background for me.
Okay. Emily, and I'm here with Jonas.
What's up?
So I just wanted to know if you saw that video of the older woman getting kicked in the face on the subway.
I did see that. That was really disgusting. And the main thing that disgusted me was how people were recording, but nobody stepped in to help.
Yeah, no, everyone who was there was just recording. No one tried to stop the incident. And you know, I'm originally from Oakland, and I saw a lot of things like that. And for people to just record it and make sure it hits the internet, yeah, that's terrible. Society has really changed, and I don't understand why they would do anything like that just to make sure it reaches the internet, even though this 78-year-old woman gets beat. If she would have died, then what would have happened?
Exactly. People are saying that the guy could have had a gun or whatever, but it's like, look, you know, it's a lot of people on that train. It was not just one person that was talking or recording. I mean, if you get 5 people to overpower this guy, you'd be fine. It should be enough to prevent this man from kicking this old woman sitting down in the face. That was just really crazy.
That was too much. When I saw it, I actually was I was highly upset that this is going on in America. And, you know, I just found out, I believe today I was on the news because I no longer live in. Matter of fact, I called you before. We talked about Willie Brown being a pimp and everything.
Yeah.
I today it was a stabbing on BART where an individual was stabbed and they had to get off of the train at Fruitvale Station, which is the station that I always got off on because I lived in that neighborhood. And it's like, wow, like what is going on in America right now?
Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, I just want to talk to you about that. I don't know where my fiance, I got an 8-month-old here, so she's trying to deal with her right now.
Right.
But it's so much stuff going on in the world, but you know, 2020 for Trump, everything hopefully goes well. Kamala Harris, good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that one. That's gonna be interesting race to say the least.
Oh yeah. It's been so much going on in the news right now. I read the Daily Crime website, and there's always something different. And I just hope that all Americans get along and come together eventually, and just let's make America great again.
100% correct, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
All right now.
All right.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And you guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me get to the next call. 469, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, this is Kevin.
All righty, what's going on?
Hi. Yeah, I was talking with some 4chan guys the other night from England, and they were like, we're defeated, basically. and everybody's like, well, we'll just add you on to the United States. And the English guy's like talking about all the conditions of England and all that. I said, well, you know, if you want to be part of the United States, you have to go with the God guns country kind of thing, because that's pretty much where you're beat. Because we had a philosophy. There's Plato, Aristotle, right? We pretty much went with Aristotle. Plato is everything is fluid, you know, socialism, transgender. Aristotle is more solid. That's where your spirit is. Aristotle has spirits of, you know, where your spirit is, how it appears and everything. And we have the New Testament, which is kind of like condensed version of, you know, all the Dead Sea Scrolls, and, you know, it's you know, for dummies, you know, that works out really well. And then when America was really picking up steam, it was the brass era. I can't exactly say the dates, but we had the camera come in and brass era. You know what I'm talking about, that time period right there?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we're talking to Native Americans, and they're like, you know, you took a picture of me, you know, that's you captured my spirit, you know. So we got to look at them and say, no, it's really not like that. So we have to take our own spirituality up to another level and tell them, you know, this camera's not really doing what you're saying it's doing. So we have to come into the modern era, and the modern era for that is going to be Dr. Livingston and his travels to Africa and the source of the Nile. And so that's just being spiritual and having decent respect for, you know, your fellow man. That's where we kind of break off from the Old Testament and other stuff. You know, do you understand where I'm coming from?
I can't really say that I totally understand, but I understand your sentiment behind it.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Livingston was a missionary when he went to Africa, and he was faced with, you know, having to barter with slave traders to get to his goal of finding the source of the Nile. And at the time, you know, we had already moved away from that. You know what I'm saying? So he is atheist. He is, you know, a voice from God on a mission. He's spiritual. He's all three of those things combined in this one little journey to Africa that he has. I highly recommend you read it. But I mean, was a modern version of God, Guns, Country sort of thing. And if, you know, and so we're up against these other countries that people are saying they're beating us, right? And you look at China, and China they're always putting up the victory sign, because China never even had the camera part of their life until after World War II. They were like that far behind. You know what I mean? So as far as like, you know, showing somebody their spirit, you know, in Native America, like China was even further behind there. They're in like Plato philosophy. They never even really got to Aristotle. And then you have
All right, Carla,
Saudi Arabia.
I didn't cut you off, but I got you a few more calls, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right,
now take care. All right, you know, I'm sure the caller made a lot of sense, but I didn't understand anything. So we can get to the next call here. Thank you to everybody for being in here. I most certainly appreciate you guys. And thank you to Nathan Shield, who says Trump will win the popular vote. Hey, that would be fantastic if he won a popular vote. That'd be great, because you got all these states talking about we don't care about the electoral, or we don't want the electoral college. All we care about is a popular vote, this, that, and the third. Okay, now what if Trump wins a popular vote? Then you got to go out there and vote for Trump when your state voted for whoever the Democrat loser is going to be. That'd be hilarious. But okay, let me try to get to my next call here. You guys give me 1 second. 210, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Brandon from San Antonio.
All right, what's going on?
Nothing much. Hey, I just wanted to comment on what Nico said earlier. San Antonio, bro. Not Dallas, not Houston, Austin. San Antonio. It does have a huge metal culture, and you'll have a better time here. There's a lot more stuff to do.
Yeah, I was seeing that. I was seeing that in the chat. People say San Antonio, not Houston, San Antonio. So that might be the consensus vote right
Houston's Houston is a concrete jungle. Dallas is cool, but they have a lot of rain storms. Same with Houston, with all the humidity down there. Austin is just way too liberal. It's a fun city to visit, but you're gonna have a bad time because it's just being a conservative. You're gonna have a bad time. But pretty much that's all I wanted to say. But San Antonio, I mean, you got the Alamo. There's a lot of historical stuff to do. You got the River Walk. Great food. There's a bunch of stuff to do. I know I'm biased because I live here, but I just had to throw that out there.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, you have a good one.
All right, same to you.
All right.
So the people have spoken. I think it's going to be San Antonio. So, Nico, if you're listening, not Houston, San Antonio. That's the spot. I was seeing that in the chat. Like, right when I said Houston, everybody was saying San Antonio. It was like flooded up the whole page. I was like, okay, that might have to be the actual decision that's made. But let me get to my next call here. And we go to 301. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's your boy JB. What's up, brother?
Everything's good, JB. What's happening?
Man, the Mueller was a nothing burger. Oh my God! You see your Facebook timeline? Everybody on in their feelings. They lied for Trump. They lied for Trump. I'm like, no, it's called. It's nothing happened, and you can all experiences you want to have. You can cry all you want to, but guess what? There's nothing that happened, and the only thing it's going to do is make him look more and more stronger because they have no collusion. And they wasted 2 years of our money, and then they got to explain themselves. And then he went something crazy. That was my 20-year-old son. He's a Trump supporter. He said, "Dad, you voting for Trump?" I never told him I was a Trump supporter because I like to sway my kids in the way I vote. You know what I'm saying? And I was shocked. He was like, "Yeah, I'm voting for Trump because I just get a good vibe from Kamala Harris and Cory Booker." My 20-year-old saying it.
Oh wow, okay.
I was kind of shocked, and I mean, like, because. One thing about me, I don't like to push my views on my kids. You know what I'm saying? And I try to tell a lot of people that you shouldn't force. They're gonna be a Democrat, let them be a Democrat. But explain to me why you're a Democrat or why you like Donald Trump. I asked why, he said, well, because I don't think he's a racist. I don't think it's bad as everybody says it is. Although his girlfriend's kind of mad at him, my wife's a little mad after saying that. But hey, it is what it is. I'm just glad he's thinking for himself at a young age. Would you not agree?
Oh, absolutely. That's becoming more and more the thing. And I like seeing that. You got the young men and women out there that are actually thinking for themselves and not being pressured by the outside to think a certain way. And they're more aware at an earlier age about what's going on in the world. Yeah. And
it's crazy nowadays. And then another thing is, like, to be a black man who's thinking outside of the boxes, it's scary to the liberals. And have you know the trend? Did you see the Lucas video about when he said they're actually releasing the people because they're overstocked, but no one's report that, and another border control got killed by another illegal.
Yeah, I've been seeing.
You heard about that?
I've been seeing that. Because I mean, at a certain point, they're getting overrun by all these people. You having hundreds of people every day come to the border. And a place where it's not really suited for that. They used to get in a few people here and there, but not hordes of people like this World War Z. What are they going to do with all these human beings? They got to release them at a certain point. So that's what's happening. And they know that.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like Lucas said, I think it was planned. The Democrats were trying to plan this out for the long haul. And the thing about it, the way they're going about trying to ensure their votes is going to backfire because now you're turning Mexicans against themselves. Like, hey, I afford to get here, so they just sneak across here. That's not right. And the thing about it is, and they're creating their own demise through self-implosion. Would you not agree?
Oh yeah, 100% correct. You're talking about Democrats, right?
Yeah, they're self-imploding as it goes now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they keep going all the way far to the left. And they can only do so much because now they're talking about, post-birth abortion. Beto O'Rourke was asked a question at this town hall or something, some little gig he was at where it was like 50 people, and a young man who was standing next to a young lady with a baby asked if a baby was born in a botched abortion, would you provide that baby with actual medical care like it was a regular baby? And he said that, look, this would not affect abortion. I'm just saying a live baby that's born. And then Beto said, well, hey, it's all about the mother's decision. It's like, we're talking about a baby here, sir, not in the womb. A baby that's born in your hands, goo goo gaga, all that.
Yes, and this is how sick they've came to be. ABL, some of these people are actually crazy. Like, they will literally stop talking to you because you have a different opinion as a black man. And even and then think about it is the self-hate between white people. They're creating this thing that white people are the evil people in the world. I'm looking at people like, you do realize that you're killing the white vote from white males because you make them hate each other.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's gone.
They're so hated.
It's totally gone because their whole platform has been about how evil the white male is. So how are you going to get the white male vote when you've demonized white male so much?
And that's the thing I'm saying is, like, I'm literally like flabbergasted. Like, in this day and age, you're still talking about reparations and how Penske don't want to sit down next to somebody next to his wife without his wife being around. Hey, I'm telling people like off the break, what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of single women who are not getting drinks bought because of these stupid policies. Women are always right.
That's right, 100% correct. And then they're going to be all upset and angry, but it's like, hey man, that's what people are voting for. That's the kind of world that we want, apparently, according to what they vote for. So, hey, get what you asked for.
Exactly, and I'm saying like this: there will never be another white liberal president ever for like next 20 or 30 years because they have set the narrative so high that white males are horrible.
That's right, 100%.
And the thing about it is that the thing I was trying to explain to you is that a lot of times the white voter is more than 50% of the damn population. So how the hell are you gonna piss off the people who could win you elections, you morons?
Right, you're talking about the majority of the country. So they trying to overwhelm the majority of the country with all these illegal immigrants, but it's not really going to work out. That's why they're trying to be against Trump building that wall. I say Trump need to build a wall like in Mad Max. I'm talking fire, barbed wire, electricity, a moat, dogs, all that. I want all of that. I want wolves, coyotes, dogs, everything at the border to keep people out. Because what they're trying to do, they're trying to flood the country with all these people and then have them vote. That's going to be the end game for them.
Yeah, like I met this Mexican guy. He says, I do not like illegals because I got here illegal, and it just defeats the purpose of me going through that and paying $20,000. He paid $50,000 to get half his family over here. And he's like, what did I do when I could sneak him over here? And he was pissed. And that's how a lot of Americans, a lot of Hispanic Americans are feeling. Because they're like, what's the point? I could have just snuck over here. Why do it illegal? Why pay the money? Why do everything right? And that's the narrative they're creating. Why do the right thing when the bad people's winning anyway?
Exactly. That's the point. And it's I mean, I understand why they're upset because I'd be mad too if I paid all my money. I'm doing things the right way. Meanwhile, here comes about 400 people just walking across the border like ain't nothing going on.
Exactly. And then they get caught. They get put back on. And then the thing about it is, you said the narrative that, hey, I can kill a border patrol and not get in trouble. And there's the second one to die. And it's probably more than that we don't even know about.
That's right.
And I tell black people, I say, you guys we are the dumbest people in the world. We are pushing for our own demise from illegal aliens. And we don't even see it.
Nope, sure don't. And I keep telling that to people all the time. It's like, look, don't you understand? Why you out here with this sign talking about pro DACA, pro illegal immigrant? Don't you get it? They're trying to replace you in this country. Why are you advocating for your own demise?
And that's my biggest pet peeve with black people. We'll sit there and buy R. Kelly album, but we won't fund the school. Get the hell. I'm sorry. Right, ABL, did you get on Division yet?
Oh, I'm on it. Yes, sir.
Well, what's your level?
I'm like level, I think 9 right now.
Oh, how the heck you beat me? I had the game longer. Okay, I'm going home, set my game up. I'm coming for you, ABL. All right, brother. You have a nice one. Enjoy. Hey, brother. Always a pleasure, man. Keep it safe, and we gonna keep preaching for the woke brothers and sisters. All right.
All right, now. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Peace.
Peace. All right. Thank you to JB for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody in the chat room. We got 335 live in the building. If you just got here recently or you've not done it yet, please give me a thumbs up on the video. It helps out tremendously. I'd appreciate that if you did that right quick for me. But let me get to my next call. 281, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, ABL, this is Jay from New York. This is like my 50th time trying to get through the line, but I'm glad I finally got through.
Well, I'm glad you're on, man. What's going on?
What's going on? Listen, have you ever played, speaking of games, have you ever played the game Age of Empires?
No, but I've heard about that. Isn't that a strategy game?
It's a big strategy online game. Now I'm gonna tell you, it's like a civilization game. You get to make your own country, and you got the little people and stuff like that, and the armies and the castles and all that. When you were talking about the border wall, tell me why in that game, and it's a multiplayer game, so you can have like up to 8 people on a map. By the time you get to like, as you progress through the ages, like from everywhere from like the Stone Age all the way up to like the Imperial Age, you got to have a wall, because if you don't build walls, you get invaded real quick and you're out the game.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of a basic thing. With any kind of defense, you got to have a wall. I mean, it's easy to get invaded. People can just walk on land and do whatever they want to do. I mean, it's happening right now to us. I mean, if you have constant hordes of human beings, 400, 500, 2,000, just coming into the country when they're not supposed to be, what else do you call that but an invasion?
Exactly. And my other point I wanted to make earlier was about on the Electoral College. It's mighty funny that the Democrats want to bring up the Electoral College now, because they're trying to because it's a popular thing to hate Trump right now. So they think that's going to be a little deuce in the card deck to try to sit there and try to turn an election in their favor, because they didn't see that the people who were really thinking on the Republican side or the conservative side or independents were going to vote for Trump. They said it was going to be a landslide win for Hillary Clinton. Oh, no, surprise, didn't do that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Trump wins a popular vote. What are they going to do about that? Because the whole thing was, well, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote and she lost the Electoral College, but so she should be the president because she had the most votes. Okay, what if Trump wins a popular vote? What you going to do then? A lot of these states passing laws that could, in theory, but not in reality, have them vote for the person that won the popular vote rather than who their state voted for. So what if Trump wins? Then you're gonna have states like California, Colorado, etc., having to vote for Trump. That'd just be marvelous.
Oh my God! One last point I want to make was just on this gun ban thing, like how they're doing in New Zealand and all that. Now, when you were talking about it being one of the safest places, now you want to change the law. Yeah, it was safe because people were able to bear arms. Some of the most dangerous places in the world, Democratic Republic of Congo. You're looking at Brazil before, they got the new president now, are some of the most dangerous places on earth because the average law-abiding citizen isn't able to defend themselves.
That's right. I mean, when you understand that a person is going to have a gun in their home to protect themselves and know how to use it, you're less likely to try to run in there.
It's just common sense.
It's basically common sense. Like a lot of these mass shooters, they hit soft targets. They're not going to go
exactly or gun-free zones like schools. Exactly, a gun-free zone. That's where they want to hit. Yep.
Like you hardly ever see a gun store get robbed like a convenience store get robbed
or a police station because they know they're going to get shot right back.
Correct, 100%.
No, that's all I had to say for right now. I just wanted to make those few points. So I'm just glad I finally got them. First-time caller. And ABL, you keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate it. No problem. Take it easy.
All right, great call. Yeah, I saw somebody rob a gun store. Like, I don't mean as like burglarize it when nobody was there or try to just take something and steal it. I'm talking about they tried to hold somebody at gunpoint, but before the gun could actually get drawn, he got drawn down on by everybody in the shop because you're in a gun store, sir. They're armed too. So what are you thinking about trying to rob a gun? like they tried to go into like it was a 7-Eleven or something and just say stick them up. No, you stick them up, sir. How about that? It's crazy, but not everybody thinks with a brain in their head. Not everybody thinks, but some people actually think. Thinking is still legal as far as I know. So some people still do it. Let's get to my next call though. 702, you know line. How am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Rob in Vegas. How you doing tonight?
Everything's great. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great. Hey, I just wanted to say, man, shout out to Nico, man. I wish I had my hair like that still.
Yeah, I can't grow mine like that. That's why I'm bald like this. I mean, it grows about 1 inch off of my head and then it stops.
Mine stopped a lot shorter than that. Hey, I was thinking about, you guys were talking about reparations, and I'm like, hey, I'm only second generation in this country,
right?
But yeah. I'm white.
Exactly, and so, you're not alone. I will go as far as to say that most white people in the country were not here during slavery. Like their ancestors came from a different country, and they came after slavery.
Yeah, and my grandparents came from Sicily, the most wiped out place in the world. If you wanted into Africa, you invaded Sicily, then invaded Africa. When Africa invaded Italy, you first invaded Sicily, going after the Greeks. They took over Sicily too. That's why Sicilians got a bad attitude sometimes. But yeah, it's like did you hear about the new not conspiracy, but the new collusion with Hillary and the Ukraine?
Well, I've not heard about the new one. I heard about the old one, but what's the new one?
Well, the new one is they're investigating a Ukrainian general for slipping information to Hillary Clinton or selling it to Hillary Clinton for dirt on Mueller for the election. So basically, the Ukraine was helping out Hillary's camp to get elected.
Wow, got some collusion going on between the Hillary Clinton campaign and Ukraine. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. But will there be an investigation that lasts 2 years, take $25 million on her? I'm not really sure.
Well, if Trump wins the next election, well, he don't have to worry about another election, so he can just go in and clean house. And that's what I think they're worried about. He's going to go in, clean house, change some people over there in the Justice Department, and then send them after these guys.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, because that's why they're sweating it right now. They do not want him in for a second term because after that he ain't got nothing to lose. He can just burn it down.
Absolutely, and then towards the end, he could just pardon whoever he wants to pardon. People that got locked up under. I mean, he could just do whatever he wants. He could pardon anybody. So, I mean, they really don't want that. That's a loose cannon to them. They want a controllable person. They don't want a Trump in there. He could do whatever he want. Nah, you got to have a nice, controllable person that'll just obey, follow orders. That's not Trump.
Oh yeah, and then the last one. This is the most important part. What do you think Trump's nickname for Kamala will be?
Mattress girl. I don't even know what they're gonna fake. Fake ethnic. I don't know what he's gonna call her, but it'd be something.
It's gonna be that's gonna be the best one when he gets into a debate with her. It's gonna be
beautiful.
Well, hey, you have a great night, and I'll talk to you on the next one.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Peace.
All right. Great caller. Shout out to my man from Vegas. And shout out to Super Chats right quick. We got Nathan Shield who says Trump will win the popular vote. Hopefully he does win the popular vote. That's what I want to see. And then I want to see how these states that have said that they want to vote or they want to send their electors for the person that wins the popular vote rather than who wins the actual vote in their state or the popular vote nationwide, not the popular vote for their state. So prime example, if California says we're going to vote for whoever wins the popular vote nationwide rather than who wins our state, they will have to vote for Trump in the event that he won a popular vote, even if a Kamala Harris won the most votes in California. That'd be hilarious to see. But thank you to Nathan for the donation. And shout out to Faith Jones, who says, liberals don't actually want to know the truth. They just want to continue the victim hate Trump mantra. 100%. That has been their whole campaign over the past couple of years, at least, with Trump, since he's been in office, and before that as well. This whole victim blaming, pointing fingers, give me this, give me that. That's been their whole thing. And it's worked for them to a certain extent, but it won't work when you're talking about the president, at least not anytime soon, because you got to have the whole country come together on one accord. And you've created so much division within your party and also in the country. How are you going to have anybody come on one accord for you when your whole campaign, when your whole process has been about division? But let me get to my next donation. Thank you to Trigger Bear, who says, something tells me you get it. Godspeed, black man. Thank you for your donation and your very kind words. Definitely appreciate it. Elliot Brown says, after Christchurch attack, they're banning Jordan Peterson books over here. Can you believe it? Hey, America, we've got oil. Send us some freedom. Thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate it. He's over there in New Zealand. So they're basically doing some book burning over there because of Christchurch. How did Jordan Peterson make that crazy person go in there and kill people? You know, Jordan Peterson, I've seen him speak here in Tennessee. Great guy. I saw him with Dave Rubin. It was a great conversation, man. Just basic things about life he kind of goes into on a deeper level. The whole stream of consciousness. Nothing about that particular event made me think about anything else other than togetherness and love. From the crowd, from everybody I was around, it was all good. It doesn't make you. It's not a violent thing at all. So to try and link him to the shooter is absurd. But thank you to my man Sushi, who says the Mueller report is now completed. Watching the mainstream media trying to backpedal is so entertaining. Van Jones says, quote, maybe we set our expectations too high, unquote. I would have to agree with that. Well, yeah, of course, because they were thinking that they're going to get Trump arrested. They're going to get Trump Jr. indicted, Eric Trump. They're going to get Melania Trump in the women's prison. They're going to have her being like Orange is the New Black, this, that, and the third. But that didn't happen, surprisingly enough. But I digress. Let's get to the next call. 901, you're on the line. What's speaking to?
Hey, man, this is Heath from Memphis.
All righty.
I understand you're a gamer. I called last week. What do you think about that Stadia Google thing?
I actually played that before because I was in the beta test for the Assassin's Creed. What was that? Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I played that on the Google Chrome. Like it's a video on this channel, on my gaming channel, where I played it, and it was good. I was surprised. I used my PS4 controller through the USB hardwired to the computer, and it was good. And I think, and the good thing about it is, you don't need to have a real a powerful system. You could do that on a tablet, any kind of regular laptop, because it's not using your computer's or your device's actual power. It's using the power from the cloud. But the problem is that you got to have a great internet connection. Over here where I live, I have 1,000 up, 1,000 down. So I have excellent internet. I'm not really sure how it would be on a lesser internet connection.
Yeah, see, I'm also thinking it'll be a server problem, too. In order to run that, you need huge server farms in certain areas. I don't know how they're going to do that and be able to scale it up properly fast enough like they claim. Because I remember that a product similar to this came out like, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. They bootstrapped it on one of the community funding sites. It was at one of the E3s, and for a while it was a good thing. I forgot what it's called. It'll fit me when I hang up the phone, like it always does. But I mean, it looks good, but I just don't know. Also, I don't think Microsoft and PS4 are going to be relegated just software companies. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, no, of course not. I mean, especially since, PS4, Microsoft, they still got the consoles. That's not going to go anywhere because, I mean, the reality is most of the world still does not have really high-speed and reliable internet. At least half of the world does not have that yet. So the Stadia thing is really far off from being able to scale just due to the client-side restrictions. Google may have the server capacity because they're Google and they got trillions of dollars basically. But as far as people on the other side of that, that's going to be a problem. And it won't really interfere with Microsoft and Sony because they still got developers, in-house hardware. It's not really going to affect them. It'll be kind of like a niche thing for certain people.
And the price has got to be right. I mean, it's got to be like $15 a month or underneath $20, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's got to be affordable. You know, that's another thing. They got to get that price point just right. One more thing. What do you think about the Xbox adaptive controller for disabled people?
I think it's great.
I wish PS4 would come out with something like that.
Yeah, they should. They definitely should. I think it's great because, you know, people that cannot use a regular controller and they can use that to enjoy games, I think it's fantastic. It's great. I saw a commercial they had. It was really, really well done. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, I was glad to see it because that's the whole population. You know, they're not including in gaming, but you know, I want to see them come up with more stuff like butt switches and spatial movement controllers and stuff like that. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know,
100%.
You know, I think that'd be great. Anyway, I just wanted to hit you up and ask you that question. I'll let you go.
All right, thank you.
I love your show. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right, will do. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, that controller they have for the Xbox is like, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's really accessible. People that are disabled that can't use the regular controller is really good. Like they had a commercial. It'll bring a tear to your eye, a little Indian tear right there, and make it just formulate in the corner. It might not fall, but it was really great. But thank you to Will Redding, who says, what is Beto's favorite flavor of Tide Pod? Red. Red Tide Pods. That's what Beto O'Rourke eats every day. So that the ice cream cone or that ice cream scoop, whatever. Like, I don't really eat ice cream. I can't drink milk, so I don't eat ice cream. But whatever you call that cup you had of ice cream, he probably had a Tide Pod in there for real rather than ice cream. But let me get to my next call. Okay, let me see. 416, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's a cigar box. Anthony, how you doing?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
Okay, I guess. I've been looking around at some stuff that's pretty amazing. Amazingly stupid, that is. I think, you know, you should get some people to jump on their senators down there. And I say down there for those that don't know, I'm Canadian. I see these senators from, like, you know, northern states, and they are climbing all over Secretary about kids being separated from their families at the border and all this malarkey, and people with the wall. And why is nobody saying, we elected you to represent us in our state? We're not on the border. What the heck are you doing? You know, like, what's the senator of Rhode Island, you know, grandstanding about this bull crap about?
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good point.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. They're not doing anything to represent the people of the state. It's everybody around the country, outside of the country. It's absolutely absurd.
Right.
I don't know. It wouldn't make me want to vote for somebody pulling crap like that. And I saw one of those sheets where they come after you for your guns down in New Zealand. And there was 3 reasons. I just remember the first one was something about if you've had any mental health issues. Now, I'm assuming that to get your guns off you, they're just going to assume that you maybe went down there, you went to see a shrink because you were having trouble coping with something, and they're just going to say, oh, you're crazy, can't have a gun. And the third reason was really stupid. It said you changed your address and didn't inform us, yet they can find you with this piece of paper to take your gun off you.
Right, exactly. So how does that work?
I don't get it, man. Like, it's really strange. I was looking at, you know, that organization that AOC works for,
that it was at the that brand new Congress or something. No, some PAC or something.
Yeah, they've got a. I looked at the thing. They're begging for donations, but you have to be a citizen to donate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or have some kind of a green card. They're really, really sticklers on where they're getting their money from. Yet all she wants to do is get rid of ICE and get rid of anything illegal. Who cares? She's in the Senate with the hearings, and she's saying, she's asking questions about 6 months ago this happened. Did you do that because that's the law? I thought, the law? Since when do you care about the law being followed?
Right.
I never hear her. Yeah, like she wants everything that's
the law matters only in certain circumstances, according to her. When it doesn't make any sense. If it's a law, it's a law, and that's it.
Yeah, it's bizarre, absolutely bizarre. And as far as the guns being taken away in New Zealand, also, sorry about jumping around here, but in England back in the 1990s, that's when they went on that big swoop and took everybody's guns away. And the politicians, they swore that all the crime was going to go way, way down, and it was going to get rid of almost all the murders. And here they are saying we want a registry on knives and everything now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't even buy a knife. And I don't know what the thinking is. If somebody wants to go in and cause trouble, like this guy who did the 50 people shooting, oh, well, I don't have a gun. I'm going to make a bomb. Like, it's just going to be, they'll find a way.
Exactly. I mean, you got suicide bombers, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's no gun required for that. So, I mean, how does that really work?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way that they can do anything about that. And then this stuff about, they also cut off all kinds of things on the internet. Down there, they wouldn't allow people to access the internet, and because they said, oh, well, people are getting radicalized on these crazy talking channels, but then has nobody realized that we've had lunatics before doing stuff like this before the internet was out?
That's right. I mean, Charles Manson was operating with no internet, none of that stuff was going on, but yet he was still able to have a cult. I mean, Jim Jones, another cult. I mean, these things have existed for a long time, not only in the Western world, but all over the world, everywhere. So why is it now? Like, we had the internet, and it's easy to blame. It's easy to point the finger at because people will believe it. A lot of people are still kind of in that mindset of if it's on the internet, it must be bad, harmful for you, even though, I mean, it's just another way to blame something else rather than the person that did it.
Yeah, like they could just easily point and say, look how big the Klan was before the internet, and look at it now. There's like virtually nobody in it.
Correct.
And yet they've got the internet that they can go and do all their dirt with, and yet nothing is working for them.
Right.
Right. Like they supposedly had that rally that they lied about. Trump just said defended them, and what was it, like 15 guys there?
At most, at most.
Anyway, it's busy tonight, so I'm going to let you go. Thanks a lot for taking my call, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, talk to you later. Bye.
All right, now, same to you. All right, thank you to Cigar Box for the call. Give me like 2 minutes. I'm going to go to the restroom right quick. I'll be back. Y'all don't go nowhere. Hang tight. Just listen to the great sounds, and I shall return. I will be right back, so y'all don't go nowhere, or it's going to be some issues. Y'all hold on. And I'm back. Hopefully I didn't leave. Hopefully we still got a full house. Still got a full house. A few people left, but it's all right. Hopefully y'all come right on back. And the hands are washed. We good to go. All right. Nippin, what's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
I just need to mute the stream. Oh, there we go. What have the Democrats boycotted this time? That's what they do, don't they?
They're pretty much a professional boycotting group at this point.
Yeah, they're no longer a political party.
Pretty much.
They've just become a cult.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I mean, back in the days of JFK and Franklin D. Roosevelt, it was just something else.
That's right.
I mean, a lot of people are comparing Bernie Sanders to Franklin D. Roosevelt. I'm sorry, no.
Are they seriously doing that?
Yeah, people are comparing Bernie Sanders to Franklin D. Roosevelt.
That's crazy.
I mean, even though he's a Democrat, I rate Roosevelt. Hang on. I spilled some drink. There must be something in my pocket too. You know what? Doesn't matter.
It's all good. You get to it.
I'll wash it once I finish the call.
There you go.
Yeah. I rate FDR, given the fact that he's a Democrat, though.
You said what about FDR? Well, yeah.
I rate him.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a person who gives credit where it's meant to be given.
Right.
Not, I give credit just because he's like a Republican or a Democrat. No. I just give credit where it is deserved.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, what did they boycott this time?
AIPAC.
What's that?
That's the America-Israel, what's that? Public Affairs Committee. It's an Israeli lobbying group in America.
Yeah.
Now they have a conference every year that a lot of the Democrats have attended before. Kamala Harris went there in 2017 and said it was a great honor to speak at AIPAC. But now all of a sudden, MoveOn.org says, hey, don't go to AIPAC because Benjamin Netanyahu, the state of Israel, they're bigots, they're racist, this, that, and the third. So now all of a sudden they don't want to go to AIPAC. It's pretty interesting. MoveOn.org is also a lobbying group, just the same way AIPAC is.
Cheers to all the liberal tears.
Cheers, liberal tears.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't get Israel. Well, actually, the thing is with people who say that, Israel does this, Israel does that. Like Israel invaded Palestine. I'm sorry, no. They didn't invade anyone. I think it's the other way around, that the Muslims invaded Israel.
That's a long history, but I think the main thing that is a reality is that it wasn't anything really there before they came and made it what it is before the Israelis came.
Yeah. So now New Zealand has banned guns.
Yeah, pretty much. So all what they call it, military style semi-automatic guns, which are pretty much all guns because of how they defined it. They said a gun that is semi-automatic that has a magazine that has more than 5 rounds in it, and mostly all guns are semi-automatic.
The moment I have enough money, I am going to move to Switzerland. You can own firearms over there.
That's right. 100% correct.
So, and then Mueller. Now, when is he going to go from the headlines? Mueller, he's like irrelevant now, isn't he?
I mean, not really. He's still pretty relevant because the report just ended. They just ended the Russia report, and he gave it to the Attorney General, William Barr. So now they may or may not release it, but the House passed a unanimous decision to release the entire bill. But it's ultimately up to William Barr to do it or not. But hopefully we get that soon.
Yeah. And I'm thinking of starting an official Instagram account, not under my name, but under the GOP Brit. I already have a YouTube name on that.
That's a good name. I like that. GOP
The
Brit.
I already have like. I don't want to integrate my personal Instagram with like, you know, which would give my conservative beliefs away.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I want to create a separate one so that I hide my real identity.
Of course. Absolutely.
Because on social media, I pretend to be a liberal.
Right.
No, just to protect my identity.
Well, yeah, that's fair because you don't want to have anybody crazy to come after you and try to interrupt your actual life, you know.
So, when is Mueller gonna be tried?
For what?
Well, was he not guilty of anything?
I'm not really sure. That could be something in itself, an entirely different investigation.
Like he was like gonna be tried for something, wasn't he? Like conspiring against the president.
Well, I don't know if he was or not, but that could be something that they do. 100% correct.
And yeah, what was I supposed to talk about last week? And then we ran out of time.
Wow, I don't really remember.
I kind of remember. I think it was the Electoral College.
Was that it? Okay, go ahead.
I think that was it.
How you feel about that?
Yeah, Trump. Yeah, lower the voting age and lowering the voting age. Now, I don't know how to feel on that, honestly, because a lot of liberals would argue that the voting age should be lowered because of the fact that older people are getting to decide the teenagers' future.
But they're not that old. I mean, you could still be 18 and vote.
True.
So that's still a teenager. 18 and 19 is still a teenager. But they're saying lower it to 16 rather than 18.
That's what I don't get.
Yeah, but they're trying to get very young people that they can indoctrinate so they can vote more for Democrats. That's all they want is more Democrat votes. Because if they thought that they would be getting more Republican voters by lowering the voting age, they wouldn't be for it. Because it's not even about them specifically. It's not about wanting to involve them. It's about trying to get more votes.
Yeah, that would backfire so hard on them if they say, we could lower the voting age. And if they actually do manage to lower the voting age, it won't be just the Democrats who will vote at 16. It will also be the GOP.
That is correct.
And now they want to abolish the Electoral College. And then there's something about Trump versus McCain.
Yeah, I think that we might have covered that, didn't we?
Not Trump versus McCain.
Well, Trump was saying a lot of things about John McCain ever since, just over the past few weeks, saying some things online, things on Twitter, and then Meghan McCain has been really upset about it. She said a few things about him on The View, but everything that Trump said about McCain was factual, about how he got in the way of Obamacare, obstructed Obamacare as far as the repeal and replacement. So, yeah, I mean, what he said was right, but people don't like what he's saying because they think that he's being disrespectful because he's dead now.
Yeah, but I never liked McCain, and his replacement is no better either.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm
Not
with you.
not Martha McSally.
You talking about
Kirsten Cinema.
Cinema, yeah, Cinema, yeah. I'm not a fan of Christian Cinema at all. Alrighty, Nippin. So we gotta get to the some more calls here, man. So I thank you for the call as always.
So hashtag boycott the View.
Boycott.
I mean, they should just be cancelled. I mean, they've just become the epitome of virtue signaling.
Pretty much. It's like a news show. It's like a news show, but not a news show. An opinion show that people think is news.
Lisa Jean Williams, she just said Nippon, the foreign expert on all things American. I take that as a compliment.
Absolutely, man. You're very well knowledgeable about American politics, much more than the average American person. It's very impressive.
Yeah. Anyway, it was nice catching up with you.
Oh, always, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
I'll see you on Thursday.
All righty. I'll see you then.
Peace.
Peace. All righty. My man Nippin for the great call, as always. Nippin is an acquired taste. People, a lot of you guys like Nippin. You always ask, where's Nippin? Where's Nippin? So shout out to my man Nippin. Always a good caller. My man 100 grand. Let's get to some more calls here. Okay. Let's go to Mike from Queens. What's happening?
What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Everything is great, man. How about yourself?
Not too bad. I just rolled in about 5 seconds ago into the stream. All I'll say about what Nippon touched in his last remarks, anybody who watches The View for political commentary has got an IQ of 50.
That's right. I mean, people, it's crazy how people actually think that this stuff is like real news. It's just a bunch of people at the table, a bunch of women at the table just talking about whatever they feel at that particular moment.
Yeah, and the audience is 45-year-old fat women that live with 20 cats.
That's right. Absolutely. It's cat lady central in their audience.
Yes, exactly. I don't know if you saw. I think this came out on Thursday. I believe I heard Fox News reported on it, but I actually saw it on the Drudge Report. That the Ukrainian Parliament is supposed to be investigating on how the Ukrainian government was involved with Paul Manafort, and they're supposedly investigating the ties to Hillary Clinton. I don't know if you saw that story.
Nah, see, I didn't see that particular story about the Ukrainian Parliament being involved. I heard about Hillary Clinton in Ukraine about a year or so ago. So I didn't know that it was a new level to it now where they're trying to get the government of Ukraine involved with it. Yeah, well, it's the Ukrainian government that's conducting this investigation. It just came out, I believe it was on Thursday, it was reported. I know, probably a foreign, like RT probably carried it. Someone told me that it was featured on Fox. I don't know. You would have to go back and check. But, possibly on how, they had an influence with Hillary Clinton. I mean, look, this whole thing with this collusion, obviously there was nothing there. We knew it from the start. The colluding was on the other side. That's right. 100%. I mean, they're trying to find any little shred of evidence to prove their collusion case. But there's plenty of evidence if you want to find it on the other side. It's all about if people want to actually collect that evidence or do anything with it. That's all that it is. And I'm glad, if you look at his Twitter feed, he has a tweet since yesterday. I'm glad Trump has stayed quiet up to so far this weekend. I mean, I don't know if he's going to come out tomorrow, tweeting. But, once, I guess he's going to wait until once Barr, gives his findings or whatever he's going to release to Congress. But, this is good because this is playing, I think for something like this, as big as an investigation this was, supposedly, it's better off that he plays low key right now. That's right. Absolutely. It's just crazy though. I mean, and it was just great to see the way the, like Rachel Maddow and, some of the other people that were melting on TV last night. Chris Matthews too. Oh my God. Yeah, I heard about that on MSNBC. Like, as soon as the news broke that the report was over, that it was done, I heard that MSNBC was just having the total meltdown, like the whole network.
Yeah, then this morning, too, Joy Reid was spreading her lies. Joy Reid was inspiring her lies this morning on her show about, this is a travesty if Attorney General Barr doesn't release the whole report, that this is covering up the investigation. Seriously?
Yeah, and it's crazy how you have these people that are on a so-called news station that are just giving their opinion based in nothing but their own imagination. I mean, like this guy got so many people indicted on ticky-tack stuff. I mean, they sent not Paul Manafort. They sent Papadopoulos to prison for 14 days. The federal prison for 14 days. I mean, like, what else could he have done? Talking about he's going to cover some stuff up. Really, the whole thing shouldn't have even happened to begin with. And he was overzealous in his prosecution of people to try and get somebody to roll on Trump. So there's nothing there. They got to accept it.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, that's about it. I'll talk to you soon, man. Have a good one.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Got it. Take care.
All right, thank you to Mike from Queens for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, it ain't nothing there. They got to accept that, really. I mean, at a certain point, it's over. Just accept that, let that be known, and just move on with your life. It shouldn't even really be a big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal. It should just be what it is, But let me get to my next call here. 901, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Michelle Espinosa in Memphis, Tennessee. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm great. How about yourself?
I am doing wonderful. I've been listening to your show this evening, and I just wanted to call to let you guys know, and all of you out there, I know it sounds crazy, and a lot of people get bored of hearing it because there's 1,000,001 videos out there about being preppers and everything, but there has been a lot of natural disaster that a lot of people don't realize the seriousness of it, because it is going to affect our food production, and stock is going to run out. And Russia has already halted their grain exports already, as well as some other countries are. And the United States has got a lot of flooding, and a lot of our farmers are suffering right now. And the farmers are even happening to beg other farmers for some donations or some help with feed for animals. And there's a lot of our cows that are dead, so the prices of food are going to go up. However, I wouldn't say we're going to starve, but what I would say is, my advice would be to buy a few containers from Walmart and try to fill them up with grains. Grains are the main things that we're going to have problems getting, which would be rice and beans, cornmeal, flour, oatmeal, stuff like that, those kind of things. And learn how to know the plants around you that are edible as well, and learn how to plant things in your house and grow gardens within your house as well. Just, kind of do some research on that, because people they think it's boring, but, my aunt works at a Walmart. They've actually closed a lot of Walmarts, by the way, recently. And I don't know if it's because of food shortage, because, Walmart is a growing industry. They have Walmarts that are popping up in all the small towns, and they kill all the business, and, they make money. There's no way in heck why they start closing. Well, they're starting to close now. And I don't know if it has anything to do with us getting imports or getting short or what. But I know Walmart gets a lot of stuff from China, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But they're also saying the conspiracies of the FEMA camps, which Walmart is being used for some immigrants. I know that for sure. But, yes. I think they're planning on some kind of natural disaster or some war, because the whole entire world are doing military operations. I just read about one that maybe, 13 different countries got together with the UK and were doing a joint military operation together, and I think the U.S. was also involved. So it's sounding a little scary. Something's heating up. Something's brewing in the air. You can feel it. I mean, you can't deny it. Everybody can feel it. Something is going to go down. The question is where or how or what. We don't know, but things are already starting to happen to our country. We don't know when that earthquake is going to happen, the big ones. We don't know when, we're going to get that EMP, the solar storm that they're always talking about. Of course, there's a lot of fear-mongering on the internet. That's the one thing. I used to be fear-mongered by a lot of stuff, but then I realized, you know what, I can't fear-monger. But I can't deny history is always repeating itself, and it's just a matter of time of when. It's better to be safe than sorry. That's all I wanted to say. And I enjoy your show, and I hope that everyone else is taking some time out to actually spend that extra $1 or $2 a week to buy more food, grains especially, seeds as well. Go to the Dollar Tree, to the dollar store, buy a bunch of seeds. Whenever you're eating that apple, let me tell you something. I pulled seeds and lemon seeds out of my fruits, and I have grown at least 10 trees straight from the seed within 2 weeks after taking it from the fruit.
Right.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
If everybody took their plants, oh yes, YouTube it, you can learn how to grow everything. If everybody took their trees, especially apple trees, I think apple trees can grow, in different places, and then lemon trees more southish, so orange is south too, but apple trees, pear trees, berry trees, and different things like that. I know you can't plant all this stuff in your house. We don't have enough space sometimes. We don't have enough yard. But what you can do is you can go to different places around forests and places that are not being, like lawns being mowed over or cleared out by the city. And you can find you a good old place where it's going to get some good shade, but good sun, and then grow it there, for the world to eat if they walk by. I mean,
absolutely.
Have you watched the guy was it in Chicago, the guy that did the growing in the city, that he turned the whole entire city into like a little garden along the streets, and he was getting sued, and then they were trying to sue him and send him to court because he had so many plants around his house, food plants. And then he took it to court and he won, and he was able to start an organization, like a little club, with the rest of the bunch to teach the children and the people of the neighborhood to grow food in their yards instead of growing grass. Have you ever heard of him?
No, I haven't, but that seems pretty interesting. But I don't mean to cut you right here, but I got quite a few more calls on the line. So,
all right, you have a great night.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, I know a few preppers. I met a few preppers in my day, guys and girls that, they got stuff ready. Back in West Virginia, a lot of people can their food. That's real popular. So shout out to all the preppers. Big up to y'all. I know one thing I like to have is like a underground chamber or something like that, like a blast chamber. And shout out to the super chatters. We got Sabat Hada. Hopefully I did not butcher your name there. But they say thanks for your coverage. Also, BN already has pre-orders of the Mueller report. Not sure B-N. I'm not really sure who that is. And they also say America needs to be self-sufficient again. I agree with you there. Less reliance upon China and things like that, and more reliance upon ourselves. But let me get to my next call. 214, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, what's up, bro? This is Tariq, man.
All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Nothing much, man. Just on this Mueller report, man, just like the election, the Democrats are not going to accept the findings of this Mueller report if it exonerates Donald Trump, man. You can already, I don't know if you're watching CNN, but I've been watching these liberal media outlets, and they're like, well, Mueller's scope was limited to the Russian investigation, but there could be collusion in his businesses. So I think what's going to happen is Mueller is going to be the new James Comey. First they love him, and then they're going to hate him.
You know what I'm saying? Robert Mueller is about to be hated if nothing comes out of this thing. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I think those of us in the know, we knew this was all crap to begin with. You know, and I think the Republican Party should even reject the notion that Russia had anything to do with it. You know, with that whole report coming out talking about Russia interfering in our election. I mean, they all say they did, but they never tell us in what way. You know what I'm saying? And like, in what way? Because like, having positive propaganda for Donald Trump on news stations, that's not collusion. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. The one thing I fear about this Mueller report is, you know, I don't know about Robert Mueller, man. You know, he seemed to be anti-Trump just by the way he conducted his investigation, how he, you know, arresting people on stupid charges. You know, I'm hoping this is not going to be one of those vague reports that, you know, it doesn't kind of, you know, it doesn't convict Trump, but it does at least a shroud in the air, which causes more investigation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope it's just not one of these half-done things where it's just like, there's so many questions left that we're going to get another investigation. Right. You know, but how do you think the Democrats, though? My thing is, like I said, I've been watching CNN, man. Regardless, man, of what happens to this, do you think the middle of the road American is going to see that this is a phony or a fraud if nothing comes out of this?
I think the average person that cares about politics would probably see it as something that's phony, unless they don't want to see it. I think it'll pretty much be like, you're not going to convince anybody new really with this. People that don't want to believe in Trump being people that don't want to think that Trump is innocent are not going to think it. People that do want to think it, people that do believe it, are going to believe it. I don't think it's really changed anybody's mind. What this will do for those that believe Trump has nothing to do with the Russia collusion, this will pretty much be validation. So to his supporters, it'll just be more reason to go vote for him again.
And you know what, man? I don't really even see a point in doing any more further investigations. But man, we got a really traitorous media, man. I mean, you just watch these people. How do we have a media that roots for the downfall of the president? You know what I'm saying? It's like none of them is accepting. First of all, they already pissed off that this investigation has ended, and nobody in Trump's family is indicted. And then Mueller comes out and says, "I recommend no more indictments." That right there pisses them off.
Yeah.
But it's just like, but it's like, how do we have a media that is just like so angry that nothing's coming out? They're just like, dang, like, you know, somebody should be indicted. Like how you on the last call talked about Chris Matthews. That's like, they're so angry. They're like, well, was this a big waste of time? Duh, of course. This was a big waste of time. But let me ask you real quick, 'cause I know you got a lot of callers. Like, when you look at these liberals on the media, I mean, it's just like, do they truly believe that Trump is some Russian spy? Or are they just acting to toy with the American people? Because I'm just like, these people can't really think this. Like, do they?
I think some of them actually do. And some of them are like Van Jones. They say it's a nothing burger. You know, that's where they at. But then when they go on CNN, they can't really talk like that.
Yeah, man, because I'm just like, you people can't really believe. I mean, it's like the media, they're uncritical. Anything that comes out from the CIA, uncritical. Anything that comes out of the FBI, uncritical. It's like common sense don't matter. It's just like, well, so-and-so said so-and-so happened, so then it must be true. Let's just pontificate all day. Like, anyways, man, that's pretty much all I want to say, man. This is fake news, but enjoy the circus once the report drops.
Oh, 100%, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Thank you to Tyreek for the call. And shout out to Philip C. for the donation, who says, "Brother ABL, I just keep loving you. Amazing work. Thank you." Thank you for your donation and the very kind words, man. Definitely appreciate you for 100%. And thank you to Jacob Schwartz for the donation. Definitely appreciate you as well. And shout out to the whole chat. We got 281 live in the building. Let me get to my next call here. 702, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Robert in Vegas again.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's one call per night.
Oh, sorry. Okay, you have a good one.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it. All right, shout out to my man. All right, I answered the call right there, but I don't know what happened. Thank you to everybody for being here. Definitely appreciate you. Please give me a thumbs up on the video if you've not done so already. It helps out tremendously to let YouTube know that people do watch this show, so they won't try to cap my views. But that's a different story, so I digress. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Check out the merch. It should be up under the video, like in little thumbnails. Also, it's a link in the box. I got hats, shirts, all that good stuff, and more stuff coming. 470, you on the line. What's speaking to?
Hello. Hey, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, Anthony. I've been calling you for I don't know how long. You just trying to avoid me, Anthony.
Hey, phone line's been busy. What you want me to do?
Hang up on them and talk to me, Anthony.
I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Important.
Is that
Whatever,
right?
Anthony. Gay people to the front of the line. But anywho, Anthony, where did you go when you went to take your little break?
Don't worry about that. I mean, let's worry about what's going on the on the topics.
That is the topic, Anthony. You said it in the show, so it's the topic of the show, Anthony.
Well, it's not a topic. Let's talk about topics that are in the actual headline of this video. Let's talk about that.
Okay, Anthony, you just got a little attitude all the time. But anywho, while you drinking your vodka out your glass, I saw you, Anthony.
Yeah.
So I hear your man Mueller to put his report out, Anthony.
It's out there. It's finished.
Your boy go, and he going down, Anthony.
Who's going down?
Mueller finna take him down.
Who's
you
going
know
down?
who going down. Your man Trump going down, Anthony.
But he said it ain't gonna be no more indictment. So how's Trump gonna go down?
That don't mean nothing, Anthony. They can do what they want to do. He going down. They gonna escort him out the White House with handcuffs on his hands. They gonna have to be some little handcuffs because he got little hands, Anthony.
Some little handcuffs. Okay. I think that's not gonna happen. I think that's wishful thinking on your part. It ain't gonna be nobody getting arrested or locked up anymore because they already said it's not going to. So are they lying or not?
They lying, Anthony. What you think, Anthony? He going to jail. They gonna get him.
Okay.
But anyway,
we'll see.
That I want to know why they gonna lower the voting age to 16.
They're trying to do that because they want more Democratic voters, in my opinion.
But that sounds good, Anthony. We need more people to vote for Hillary and Joe Biden and my favorite Beto.
Oh, you like Beto?
Anthony, you know I love me some Beto. I told you once before he's like a vanilla old bum. I just love me some him.
But I mean, you don't think he's weird though?
Well, his hands is kind of weird. I mean, he just be moving. I told you, I think he on some. He probably be hitting a little something before he come out and get his speeches and stuff. But I don't know. I know somebody that could be his connector if he get in the White House.
Oh,
They
okay.
just,
We can't talk about that here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony. Did you hear about CNN?
What did they do?
They had that other man, that roly-poly man who show you was on one time. And he said something about, all they have is gay people on the show as far as black men.
Yeah, they said that. It was one guy that came on there and said that he tried to get on CNN doing the guest spot. And the person at CNN told him that, I'm sorry, we don't have any straight black men on our network.
Well, that's my kind of network, Anthony. You should go over there and watch your news, too.
I'm good. I'm a straight black man. They don't want me, so I'm good.
Well, we already got Don Lemon.
And I'm not a fan of Don Lemon, so y'all can have him. I'll just watch something else. I'm going to just not deal with CNN. Matter of fact, Roland Martin also said that Fox News is more diverse than CNN when you're talking about the leadership.
What?
That's what he said.
Not Fox News, Anthony. Whatever, Anthony.
That's
Fox News.
That's what your homeboy Roland Martin said.
Glenn Beck and them other folks be over there talking all racist, Anthony. Whatever, Anthony. You just with them people.
That's what your man said, not me.
Whatever, Anthony. So what's up with the Brexit friends, Anthony? When you gonna do the shows with the Brexit friends?
I don't know. Hopefully soon. Hopefully we all get together and do something. That'd be nice. That'd be fantastic.
You gonna have all y'all together, Anthony?
If we could, that'd be great. But it's a lot of us, so that'd be kind of hard to do. But it'd be great if we can get everybody together on one show and do it that way.
Is you gonna have my favorite two people on there, Anthony?
Who are they?
You know who I want to see, Anthony.
I don't know. I don't know nothing.
Kevin and my other favorite, Anthony.
Who's that?
You know his name, Anthony.
I don't know who you're talking about, sir.
Say his name, Anthony.
No, thank you. I'll pass.
Say his name, Anthony.
No, thank you, sir. I'll pass.
Say his name, Anthony. And stop misgendering me, Anthony. It's ma'am. I heard you.
Okay.
You be trying to sneak that in, Anthony. But anywho, it's amazing, Lucas. Ooh, Anthony, I just don't know what to do. Ooh. But anywho, Anthony, I'm finna go. I see your other little friend Nip, and he called in. He looked like Anthony Scalia or somebody, anywho. But anyway, you ain't got your MAGA hat on, and somebody got to go out here in Atlanta, in Midtown, and make Atlanta gay again. So
okay.
I'm going to talk to you Wednesday, Anthony.
All right, now. Take care.
Bye, Anthony.
Bye. Oh, man. Hey, to anybody that's a new viewer, that's a recurring caller. They just come in just for they're like I think I know that person, but I don't know who that is. I've not been able to identify him. We thought it was Mason Lucas at first, but that's not him. I've clarified that it's not him. I'm not really sure who that is, but it's like a prank caller type person. All right. So and yeah, SOBC, that was a good one. That was really good. But thank you to my man Nippon who says, take off your mask, caller. We know you are the amazing Lucas. It's not him. We figured that out already, Nippon. And thank you to Sabat who says, Democrats ban AIPAC. Do you, Mr. ABL, think that AIPAC and America's connection to Israel are necessary to our nation's benefit? Is Israel even worth it? Well, I mean, AIPAC has their interests, and that's okay. There are a lot of lobbying groups. I mean, it's up to the people that have the particular interest to say whether it's needed or not. I don't have an interest with AIPAC, so I don't have any need for it. But there's like a trillion other groups I don't have a need for either. But that's just me, though. But there's people that may need that group, and that's fine. You know, it is what it is. But let me get to my next call. 919, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
True. Am I actually live?
Yes, you are.
Oh, man. Oh, that last one was kind of weird, but I just want to comment on the Mueller report.
Caller, turn your speakers on in the background for me, please.
Oh, sorry about that. Just want to comment on the Mueller report.
All right.
And yeah, I'm a Democrat, and then I could really care less about what is in there. You know, just to let you know, there are those of us out there who don't really believe about the Trump collusion stuff, because we know he's done things that are against Russian interests. So if you look at his policies and all that, like, do you think that?
Now, so you mean Trump? Do I think Trump has done things?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the sanctions. Like
that's
the main thing right there. The sanctions. I mean, I'm not really sure why, if Trump was such a person that was in bed with the Russian Federation, that he have all these sanctions on Russia. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of. I know some people may think that, but he's really not. I don't think so. I don't really care. But on the APAC thing, like, you know, and this is frustrating because like the Democratic establishment, if you criticize like literally anything at all, that because APAC is linked to Israel, if you criticize anything at all about APAC, they'll like try to punish you. And I don't. It's not anti-Semitic, because like Israel just so happens to be the one of the only known countries where it's most of the people there are Jews, but it's really not anti-Semitic. I don't get why people go with that. Like, what's your take on it?
Well, I'm gonna ask you this question though: what if it was a mass boycott of AIPAC from conservatives? What would the media say? What would the narrative be?
That's another thing I want to say. Like, what would the media say? It's conservative.
Yeah, if it like just flip it. Like, rather than the mass boycott being on the left, which it is right now, as far as AIPAC is concerned, what if it were on the right? What if you had people like Paul Ryan and Ted Cruz and Mitt Romney talking about I don't want to go to AIPAC and criticizing Israel? What would the actual media and also the left say? What would they say? They would say, oh, they're anti-Semitic, they're a party of white supremacists, they have no diversity, they're tone deaf, they don't want to support Israel because Trump is white supremacist and he caters to them, he coddles them. Like with Robert Byrd. But hold on.
Yeah.
Robert Byrd was a member of the KKK. Everybody knew about it. He admitted it. He was in the Democratic Party for 50 years. He was a high-ranking member of the Democratic Party. He was a president pro tempore, which means at a certain point he could have been the president of the USA. I think he was like number 3 in succession. Okay, but they don't talk about him. But David Duke won one term in the Louisiana House, like not even in the big federal government, and in the Louisiana government for like 3 years as a Republican. And then they say, oh, that's the face of Republicanism. That's the face of white supremacy. David Duke. You see where I'm going?
Yeah. Actually, I haven't heard about that first guy. I don't know who he is.
Robert Byrd. Yeah. Got look him up.
I've never heard of him. But I don't know what the media would do. I mean, I don't like the mainstream media either. I don't like them either. So, but not sure. Maybe the Democratic leadership would probably find a way to call it you guys considered anti-Semitic, but I don't think it's anti-Semitic if it's the left or the right, because it's like a lobbying organization. It's not about Jews or whatnot. It's not about conservatives or Democrats. That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's I don't know about them, but I don't think it's anti-Semitic.
All right.
It's yeah. And on the hold on a second. That's pretty much it. That's all I want to say.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you for the call.
All right, you too. Have a nice one.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, I mean, imagine if anybody, like, let's say Trump came out during the election and was talking about how it's all about the Benjamins. I don't want to go to AIPAC. All this, that, and the third. Anti-Semite, white supremacist, Jew hater. That'd be the narrative. So we've been able to take the narrative away from them. Now they can't say, oh, conservatives are anti-Semites or white supremacists, because now they're the ones doing a thing that we would get called out for doing. So now we've just shifted that whole thing over to them. You want to call us anti-Semites? No. You did X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. So here is the white supremacist thing being on the right. Now we moved over here to the left. Now y'all can have that. Y'all take that. We're going to be the moral high ground. We're going to be the moral compass. That's how it works. It's checkers. I mean, it's chess. It ain't checkers. You got to think ahead. That's just how I look at it. But let me get to the next call. 617, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Al.
All righty, what's
Al.
going on?
Hey, man. I didn't expect to get through. So I had a quick question for you. I don't know if you know this or not, but this whole thing with Trump, and he's obviously exonerated. We all knew that from the beginning. But my question is, how are they able to just go after him like this? Isn't this I know this is a question probably a lot of people have thought about, but how are they just allowed? Isn't there something against the law to like weaponize against a particular person? Like, oh, I don't like this guy, so I'm gonna use my power against him. Like, how is this being allowed to go on?
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, they're trying to say that Trump did that. They're trying to say that Trump abused his power, but it looks like the left are abusing their power against Trump. It's pretty interesting how that works. It shouldn't be a thing because they're trying to investigate Trump on it. So, I mean, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. If you say that we can't do it, and neither can they. So, now you're right. It really shouldn't be something that you can do to just bully people with your power, but that's what's happening. So I'm not really sure what the actual recourse is, but you're right. It shouldn't be happening.
Because what I was thinking is maybe he's just allowing them to run their course, and because now they're talking about, we're going to look at his finances, and it's just obvious that they're just never going to stop. They're just going to go after him until they can find something. It's amazing that he, as a businessman, Donald Trump, you would think that there'd be something, some kind of dirt, like some kind of financial thing, but he's like squeaky clean. And so, I mean, what I'm saying is, it just seems like there's this thing called probable cause. You know, I mean, I'm not an expert by any means. I don't know much about the law, but there's this thing called probable cause, and like you have to have a reason to go after somebody. Otherwise, you're your weapon. You're using the power of the whatever it is, the FBI or the law enforcement to go after whoever you choose. It seems like it's obvious corruption there.
Hey, that's right. I mean, I agree with you. It really shouldn't be happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, great talking to you. Thank you.
All right, now. All righty, that'll be a wrap for the show. Thank y'all for joining. Definitely appreciate you. Before you guys roll on out, see we still got 293 live in the building. Please join the Discord if you're not there already. The link for the Discord is in the box. It's also right over my shoulder, but right in front of your face under me, under the video in the chat box. Click on that right there to go to the Discord. It is a free chat service, a community just for the ABL viewers, ABL watchers, and friends. Thank you, Alicia Bell. I appreciate you guys, you and Swede. Thank y'all for your support as always. But check out the Discord for everybody getting here who wants to keep the conversation going. We still got 283 live in the chat. Discord is right there in the chat box, also in the description box below. If you're seeing this on the restream or whatever it is, just click under the video or in the chat box, go to the Discord. But that's all I got for tonight. Thank y'all for joining. Check out the merch. You know, I got merch on the website, merch underneath this video. And, you know, I got some hot stuff coming in. I got hats. I have more shirts coming. What I'm going to do is probably do like a new shirt or two and a hat or two every month. So it'll always be something new, always something fresh. I may discontinue certain shirts, but I always have the files as I design everything. So if you want to see a certain shirt or a hat come back, just let me know. But, you know, we got the 1776 hat. We got the MAGA shirt. We got the ABL logo. If you click this right here, it also has a mug on it, stickers, all that. We was Burger Kings. You have to go back to the future. I digress. I'll probably redesign that one as well. CNN Sucks has been doing pretty well. Trump Pence 20. I got that one coming myself. And I also have the hat coming here. I have that coming in red and the black. And you got the MSNPC regular unisex shirt available in blue and black, the women's shirt, and also the tank. And I got more stuff coming as the days and months and weeks progress. But for tonight, that's all I got. Thank y'all for joining. Shout out to the mods. We had a few trolls in here tonight. You guys were able to snipe them out straight from the mountaintop. We got Shreebs and Sel, Zealand Zen, Dan Larkin, Bill from the Hills, Liza Jean, Cynthia Webb, Bob Pye, Mark Anthony, Sushi, Omar Adams, Pia Reza, Dina Jones, Yuroku, Michelle A, Nick Taylor, Nisha Milo, Catherine K, Friends, T-Pain, Protocol, Hip Hop Independent. I thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. I don't do after hours chats. Just check me in the live stream. I do live stream every Wednesday and Saturday. You might catch me in the Discord, maybe if I'm in there on a rare occasion, but I don't just, I don't really have time. And also my last super chatters, thank y'all for donating. Let me see. All right, Omar Adams, thank you for your donation, man. He says, poll A, boot Skittles, or B, keep Skittles. Vote. Skittles all day long, boss. But I can't eat them anymore because of the sugar. Shout out to OBBG who says MAGA, MAGA. Thank you for your donation. Roger Sloan says, checking in from South Carolina. Thanks for your dedication. 2020 ticket for Democrats. Anthony Weiner, Eric Holder, Weiner Holder. Hands on for America. Hilarious. Thank you for that. Sabat says, how can I chat? Okay, answer that one. Thank y'all for joining. That's going to be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.